everyone. All right, good night. Let's turn this stuff off. Let's turn this music off. Good night, everyone. Let's make sure everyone can hear me before I go too much further. All right, it's sounding good. So, yeah, hello, happy Friday. Today's January 30th. Can you believe it? January is over. Wow. Who would have thought it? And God, the markets have just tanked today with the announcement of the new Fed chair. Yeah, it's a rough one. But welcome in, everyone. Tonight's show is called Indiana, Indiana, a sanctuary for pedophiles, featuring the Troll Patrol. Okay, so I hope you guys are interested in the subject matter tonight. Trust me, it's going to be jaw dropping. It's going to be jaw dropping, and it'll be also fun. Uh, in the first half of the show, we're going to have David Noe Ramos in, our special guest and whistleblower on the Chomos of Central Indiana, and we're going to be doing kind of a double take. Okay, we're going to look very closely at some examples of the rampant infection of child molesters and pedophiles in Indiana. And we're going to take examples from the locals, okay? And then we're going to take some examples or commentary from the feds. So that's what the content of the show is tonight. And if you're new here, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for finding us. We're so glad you found us. And hey, we love all the new folks who come in, and we love getting to know you. So please, if you're new, feel very welcome. Come in and join the chat. Don't be shy. I have about 25 mods who make sure that the chat is always absolutely perfect. So anyone new should really enjoy and feel comfortable in the chat. No one's going to be harassing you there. And so come on into the chat, enjoy it. And also, you know, if you're on the replay, enjoy the comment section because I police that damn thing and ain't nothing getting past me. Okay. So, regardless of who you are, if you're new, if you're a longtime viewer, if you're shy, if you're bold, and all in between, we welcome you in. And I just want you to have a good time, but also interact and let us know your thoughts. We always want to hear from you. We want to know what you think about this, what information you might have. We forward lots of things on up to the feds. Okay. So if you're really concerned and you got special information, important information, you don't want to be held responsible for tipping it in, you send it this way, we'll ensure that it goes on up. Okay, especially if you check out my link tree, you can find my pathways to contact through Gmail, and also you can contact me at Substack, where I do some writing. And also, while you're here, hey, hit the thumbs up and hit subscribe. I'd love to have your subscription because you'd be notified on a regular basis when we do our shows. And we're taking a deep, deep, deep look at the child predation and the cover-ups of such activity, especially emanating out of the state of the Indiana and the Midwest in general. So that's what we do mostly here, and we do some other things. But that's the focus. And we have some extremely special content coming for you that I'm not going to advertise until it's ready. And I'm not going to even mention it. But all I'm going to say is you're going to want to be subscribed because you're going to hear things in the next month that you would not believe. It's going to change your minds about Delphi. It's going to change your minds about the Indiana State Police and the Carroll County Sheriffs. And it's going to change your minds about the reality of what's really going on here with the powerful people, the sex trafficking, child trafficking, and the YouTube whack jobs overall. And we'll be getting into that a little later too, because we all know that you got some really creepy guys, okay, who have inserted themselves into the Delphi murders online commentary. And we talk about them a lot too. So that's what's up with that. And before we get too far into the show, I want to say hi to everybody. I love to do that. And so please bear with me, okay? Um, Let me get on in and see who the heck is here because I'm late, but I appreciate everyone who is here early. Apologize again. It just takes a lot to try to get this content prepared for you and upload it into the backstage area. So we got Critter Mama, David Rogers, uh, Lisa Guino, Bonnie. We had Deb731, Snoop Sleuth, Four Pit Bulls Across America, Dirty Diana, Emily121. We have Christopher 88A, Nancy Drew 101. We got Dennis McKean's in here. Welcome, Dennis. All right. Anna Paula Baxter, Quadaxel Mimi, Donnie Kuntz. What's up, sir? Good to see you. All right. We got Rebecca Ann coming in. I don't want to miss anyone. Digital's here. Untamable's here. Who else is in here? Ninja Warrior Assassin. Good to see you. Paula Fitzhenry. Welcome. All right. Daisy Ask. Hello to you. All right. Jamie Boyd. Welcome. All right. Advenu03. Heavy Metal Rehab. All right. I think I'm doing well. Mustang's here. All right. Mercedes is here. Court of Public Opinion is here, reminding everyone to do like I said and subscribe, like, and comment. We need it. Okay, we also got a Silence Woman. Hey, what's up, Christine? All right. Swade Smith. Hey. Criminal Network. Hello to you. Huh. Wow, wow, wow. David Rogers, thank you for the super sticker. Everyone, please support the channel. Okay, support the channel. Send in the Cash App, the super sticker, thanks. Leave comments. Thanks very much, David, for the super sticker. Mama Bear is a member for 11 months. Hey, Mama Bear, thank you for being a member. All right, good, good, good. Christina's here. Hey, Christina. All right, Firewalk with me. All right, Georgina Taylor. Good to see you. Big Fishy's here. Hey, Fishy. All right. Who else we got up in here? Swade Smith is saying hello to everyone. Look at that. Good job. Good job. Fishy wants to be a mod. Don't worry, Fishy. Look, I got your back. There you go. Took care of you. All right, Fishy's going to be a mod now. All right, and who else we got? It's a new day. Hey. I think I just lost my place. Dieter. Hey, Dieter. Dieter's here. 26 Dead Zombies dude. Matt Payton. Maria Alma. All right. Caden Christian. All right. Great to see everybody. I think I pretty much got everybody. Happy Marigold. I saw someone mention author, but I haven't seen author yet. But usually author Claremont's here. So welcome, author. Mr. Claremont, like I like to call him. All right. And hey, Rebecca Ann, thanks for the super chat there. Hi, Prof. Hi, chat. Hi, Rebecca. All right. Boom. All right. So great to see everybody. Hey, Mandy. What's up, Mandy? Mandy's here. All right, everybody. I'm so glad to see all of you. Where's Tracy? Have I missed Tracy? I don't know. I see someone said hello, Tracy. Okay. Good to see you all. So thanks so much for being here. Anyone else come on in? Let us know you're here. We appreciate it. All right. Boom. All right. So a sanctuary for pedophiles. What an odd concept. Okay. What an odd concept. But hey, let's be real here. We're feeling like Peru, Indiana, and Wabash, Indiana, are sanctuary cities for pedophiles, and the state of Indiana, a sanctuary state for pedophiles. And let me sort of kick us off in this way with a rhetorical question. And that rhetorical question goes somewhat like this: If the murders of Abby and Libby in Delphi, Indiana in 2017, which is commonly known to, referred to or is known as the Delphi murders, or formerly the Snapchat murders, if those murders were the result of an attempted child trafficking or catfishing scenario by pedophiles aimed at targeting Liberty German and possibly Abigail, if that's the true nature of this crime and that's being covered up by the state police of Indiana, would that not be the virtual condoning of that behavior? Would that not be the protecting of the pedophiles who targeted those girls, and that targeting ending up in their deaths? Yes. Yes, it would be. And that's exactly what happened, okay? And one day you'll understand that that's exactly what happened to Abby and Libby. Okay, this was not a lone wolf killer that was opportunistic. This was not random chance. This was not only a satanic ritual. Okay, it was none of that. What this was a chomo and a couple of them who wanted to kidnap those victims, or at least one of them. They targeted that victim. They rendezvoused and attempted to kidnap that victim and her friend, ended up murdering those victims, and the Indiana State Police, and in my belief, the prosecutor has covered it up, has hidden the true nature of this crime, which is why it looks so egregious out there in the real world. When you're observing from the outside into this case of the Delphi murders, you see what is what appears to be an enormous or monumental sized cover up. You see what appears to be just the flagrant violation of constitutional rights of the defendant. You see all of this corruption on the side of the judicial system and law enforcement, and you wonder what the hell is going on here. Well, I'll tell you exactly what's going on. They're covering up the largest child targeting network that's ever been discovered in the Midwest. That's what they are doing. Why? Because they sell these children, okay? They traffic them. They photograph them. They sell the material on the dark web and amongst themselves. And that's exactly what happened to Abby and Libby. And one day, you'll probably agree with it when you realize we've been telling the truth the whole time. And all the whistleblowers who have knowledge of this and all the confessions that have come out all indicate the same thing. When everything points to one thing, that's the truth. Okay? So, with that being said, that's why we're focusing on this particular subject matter. And tonight, uh, we're going to have David Noe Ramos come in and join us because he is a local whistleblower. Now, David's history goes on back to the most insidious and infamous pedophile that has been discussed in the past 10 years from Delphi, or in terms of the Delphi murders. And this is Kagan Klein, okay? So it turns out that Mr. Ramos got to know Kagan Klein, was very concerned by the information that he learned while housed with Kagan Klein. He came out from that experience and whistleblew on Kagan Klein, and has since then whistleblew on a whole bunch of pedophiles from Indiana. And so I thought this would be a great way to kick the show off tonight, because I've recently made a community post. And this community post that I've recently made contains some very, very concerning information in terms of additional confessions of Keegan Klein. So we're going to get into that first, and then we're going to go on forward. So if you just give me a moment, I'll get my presentation here together, and let me throw this up because this is how I wanted to kick us off anyway. So take a look at this on the screen while I get my things together here. All right. So you'll see here, those of you who are familiar with this, you know exactly what this is. You know exactly what this is. This is a small excerpt that was perhaps the biggest red flag in the interview of Keegan Klein when this transcript was dropped onto the world. And it was this particular statement, which here is lines 14 and 15, okay? But in the context, it says this. When you are exchanging child pornography, and then you're exchanging Dropbox links that go to your Dropbox, that's a different story. What do you mean? I never had a Dropbox. Yes, you did. Bud, from your Dropbox account off your phone, we have started one of the largest child pornography investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. Okay? And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is not a lie. Here's the way you know so. Because the troll farm, in other words, the CIs, the former child molesters, meth traffickers of central Indiana, who now troll the Delphi murders to keep this all buried. The minute that this dropped onto the world, do you know what their line was? Do you know what the running line was in response to this concept of from your Dropbox account, we have started one of the largest child pornography investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana? You know what their response to that was? The narrative spin, the spin, the spin was, oh no, that's not true. That's not true. That's just the read technique. They're allowed to lie. They're allowed to lie in interviews. They were just lying. Do you believe that? Do you think that they'd say, Bud, let's be real here. From your Dropbox on your phone, we've opened up one of the largest child pornography investigations ever in the state of Indiana. Do you think they just make that up just to read technique, Keegan Klein? No, no. That was a get real moment. Okay. So the fact that the troll farm decided that the best spin would be that is the indicator that this is true. Just like they tried to spin the sticks on the bodies of Abby and Libby. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember when it was first discovered that there were these sticks and these crime scene photos were leaked, by the way, by this troll farm, the same group of people? They tried to spin it. First, they said the sticks fell on the bodies, right? They said the sticks fell on the bodies. That was troll farm talking points. Well, the moment they realized the public wasn't going to believe that or accept that it was impossible for these sticks to fall on these bodies. By the way, why would they even? These trees are not all rotten. They said the sticks fell on the bodies, okay, in perfect geometrical formations. But when they realized they couldn't run with that the public wasn't going to buy it, then they switched and said, oh no, the killers were just trying to hide the bodies. And of course, anyone who's seen those crime scene photos, you know that there's only 3% approximately of the bodies are covered with sticks. So that line didn't really work either. So finally, they consulted with enough PR firms and the prosecutor's office enough times that they decided, well, I guess the best thing we can come up with now is it's an undoing. It's an undoing. The killer, Richard Allen, felt sorry, didn't want to see what he did. So he put these sticks in perfect geometrical formations on the bodies to undo what he did, which is what the prosecutor ran with. So you see how none of this makes any sense at all? It's always the spin that these narrative controlling ass troll farm confidential informants, former child molesters, former meth traffickers. That's what they do, okay? And they've terrorized, doxxed, and harassed everyone on the case, gotten some people evicted from their homes, divorced from their loved ones. They got a couple people killed, and they got a couple people jailed. And that's your troll farm. So, with that being said, no wonder that they constantly attack, because their objective is to assist law enforcement in covering up the true nature of this crime so that no one will ever understand that this ties into powerful people who are the customers of these child traffickers, sex traffickers, and child pornography producers running out of Kokomo, Florida, Peru, and Wabash, Indiana. Because we're dealing with a sanctuary state, okay? And anyhow, that's my introduction. I'm so glad everyone's here. Uh, just spitting facts out here. So hope you appreciated that. I do it at great risk, okay? Anyhow, now I'd like to welcome in our guest of honor this evening, okay? Our guest of honor this evening, Mr. Ramos. And what we're going to do is we're going to chat with him for a moment, and then we're going to start looking at some concerning information that he has brought about. So anyhow, with that being said, let me see if I can get Mr. Ramos to come on in. Hello, Troll Patrol.
Oh boy. Hola.
Hello, Mr. Ramos. Troll
Hola.
Patrol. Welcome in.
Thank you.
Everybody, please welcome Noe in the chat. Boom. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. The hearts are flowing, Noe.
Well, thank you very much, Prof, for having me. And I want to say hello to everyone and quickly mention very special individuals, such as my moderator, my number one chief moderator, Carol. Hi, Carol. And I want to say hello to Joe Swisher, great friend of mine. I had the great honor to reunite with Joe a couple days ago. We were at a meeting, and it was like a huge hug. I hadn't seen him for 6 months. He's doing great. And so special shout out to Joe and several other friends that are close in my circle who've been very supportive, such as Mark Ellis, Alex Voorhees, Diana, and the rest. I'm not going to spend more time on that. They know who they are. Um, Mr. Smalls. Hello, everybody, and here I am.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Looking relaxed and refreshed. How was the trip to Kentucky?
Oh, it was good. It was a quick day trip. I went down to southern Kentucky, or yeah, in the Louisa Pikeville area. I went to visit a special friend, daughter.
Nice,
Oh,
nice, nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Everybody says hello in the chat. Can you see the chat, or you ignoring the
No,
chat?
I can't. So it's gonna be a matter of
All right. All
if
right.
you
I'll
want to.
let you know. Everybody says hello. Hello. Everybody says hello. Who's their daddy says hello.
Oh, who's your
Everybody
daddy?
says
Hi.
what's up. All right. So, yo, Noe, are you ready to get into my
Yeah.
first
Let's.
my first no, so guys, Noe accomplished an incredible feat, okay? Absolutely incredible feat. And I don't think he knows that I'm going to start off with this, but we're going to start off with this, okay? Which is, I dropped an absolute bomb on my community page recently, and I don't think many people understood the gravity of the situation because I didn't get as many comments as I would have liked to seen because this is huge. Okay, we got some more coming down the pike. Okay, so just get ready. There's more coming. Okay, there is more coming. But for now, I want to go into this because Noe accomplished an incredible feat, which is this here. Sorry about that. I must have that backwards. All right. So Noe spoke with an anonymous individual that we're not going to say his name tonight, but this individual blew the whistle on Kagan Klein. Okay, and I'm going to read this to you and let Noe chime in with commentary, if you don't mind, Noe, because Noe pulled this off. Okay, so we're going to step through this real slowly so that you guys can hear. I can force you all to listen to this amazing statement that Noe got, which has been forwarded to federal authorities. And I'd like to say Noe basically pulled a sting operation. For those of you who don't realize it yet, so Noe allowed himself to be parole violated to go on and enter undercover into the Wabash County Hyatt Regency, or call it what you will,
That's
so that
good.
he could go in and do gather some intelligence on the Chomos of Indiana. And so, since we know that Wabash and Peru, in particular, are sanctuary cities for the Chomos, Noe went in to do some intelligence gathering, and this is one of the major accomplishments he made. Okay, and it says in 2020, this is your whistleblower. I was in Miami County Jail before I went to Westville. When Kegan Klein came into jail, he came into the 900 block, which is the sex offender block of Miami. When he came in, he told us his apartment was raided and he was arrested for level 3 cocaine and possession of a handgun. He did not have any paperwork to back it up. 900 is an open dorm. He slept in the middle cubicle. Is that it is? Is that what
Yes.
it is? Okay.
Yes.
In the first bunk on the bottom. Me and one of my buddies, and we redacted for their personal safety, took him under our wing, and we were trying to figure out what he was actually locked up for. Then we saw him on the news and found out he was the Delphi murders suspect, and he was in for child solicitation charges. After that, we started talking more and more openly, or he started talking more and more openly to us about his case. And I see I've put the red box around. That always means it's important. Pay attention. He always kept asking us stuff about his computer. He was really worried about the detectives getting into it. One day they came and grabbed him, and when he came back in, he told us he had multiple counts of child solicitation. During the time together, he told me that his dad was really good friends with Libby's parents. Who knew that? Tony Klein was good friends with Libby's parents. He admitted he knew the little girls and said him and his dad had been questioned about the case because they had family friends in Delphi. Who? Family friends? You mean Ron Logan? He said his dad, Tony Klein, had a hog farm in Delphi. And him and his dad would often go to Delphi because they had people working for them and they sold hogs to packers. He said that the police had searched the hog farm looking for clues. What people don't know is that after the crime was committed, they went to Vegas to hide and get away from Indiana. Oh my God. What? They went to Vegas to hide, according to Keegan, and get away from Indiana. He moved with his friend Dirk to get away from Indiana. He told me there was another person involved with his dad in the crime. So, in other words, Keegan told this gentleman that there was another person involved with his dad in this crime, Delphi
I'm
murder.
familiar.
There was one time when we were in the block, he was talking to someone about it, and I looked over at him and I could see no remorse. He did not feel bad for what they did to these two little girls. So later I caught him and I redacted a particular section of this. Soon after that, I went back to Wabash County Jail and then to prison. While I was in prison at Westville, I called home one day and my girlfriend asked me why the hell the Delphi killer suspect was texting her from Miami County Jail, acting like it was me. So he was catfish. So Keegan's catfishing this gentleman's girlfriend and trying to get money. Keegan Klein had stored her number on his chirp when I used his chirp to text my girlfriend from the 900 block. When we were together in jail, I was getting ready to get out of Westville in December 2022, and I got shipped back to Miami County Jail on a different charge. And I told my girlfriend that I was going to stomp on him again for doing that. But when Miami County picked me up, he was being housed by himself in the 900 block, and the rest of us were at the 900 block. I got out of Miami County, and I never saw him again. All right, Noe, can we stop there? And you want to add anything to that, or how did you get this statement? Or oh, sorry about that. Jeez, come on, Prof.
Okay. Um, First of all, let me start by saying that I am Coach Cruz, and I approve this message. Okay, and um, thank you. Why am I doing this? Not just because it's the right thing, but it's not about the people and the that I'm not a judge, and it's not my place. But it's not about the people, and it's about the actions, the crimes against children, and we all know my story. I have gone through struggles and things like that, and I've been in custody for substance abuse. So I am a substance abuse offender, and I do this because I stand on my belief that we should protect children. Uh, so I met this individual um, in the past 6 months, and well, I already knew him. Um, I knew of him. We had been in custody in 2019, at the old Wabash County Motel Inn, the old one downtown. And so I knew who he was. And when we started talking, actually, we were actually, you know, housed together. So we got to talk face to face. He told me that he was from Peru, right? So I immediately, started asking about the case. And and lo and behold, he said, "Oh, I was in custody with him when they first brought him in." And I found like the right moment to, like, when there was nobody around, and I told him, "Hey, man, would you like to talk to me about Kagan and your experience while you were in custody with him?" I believe it was August of 2020. Okay, and he said no. I was like, "That's fine." I told him what my purpose was. My purpose was to, I told him that I was in contact with some victims advocates and things like that, and some YouTube social media personalities and figures, and that was the sole purpose of me uh, granting me an interview in regards to his time with Kagan. And he said no, and then um, one day he came to my room, to the door, and he said, "Hey, you know what? I'll talk to you, man." Um, who gives an F? I mean, what he did was shitty, you know.
Mhm.
So I'll give you that interview, and that's how I got to talk to this individual.
Mhm. And this, can I ask you something? This individual,
Hmm.
what things did he say to you that were the same that you had learned in Miami County yourself? Uh,
Okay. First thing, there's I think there's three major things that I take from this interview, and one was being is that Kagan and his dad had friends and family in Delphi. So Kagan told me that as well. Uh, a year and a half l- later in 22, and then another thing was the Las Vegas trip. And also the other thing that kind of um, stuck out was the third person, the friend. There was another person who committed these crimes, which that's those were the three main major points.
mhm. What was the major differences you think? What
Uh,
new did you learn from this gentleman?
well, I knew about through Kagan himself, who told me that Ron Logan was a family friend. But the one that really stuck out that was different was that Tony Klein knew Libby's family, which it's fair to say parents. Uh, who else? Cousins. I don't know. It's a small town Indiana, but when he said that Kagan told him that they knew, or Tony Klein knew the family, that was a major something I didn't know or had never spoke about because Kegan never told me that.
Mhm.
And oh, what was the other one?
The hog
Well,
farm. The hog
huh?
farm. The
Oh, the
hog.
hog farm.
Mhm.
Thank you, Prof. Yeah, the hog farm. Them being connected to somehow to Packers. Um, they, a hog farm where they used to work and um, make money by
Can
selling hogs to packers. That was another major, yeah, difference.
can I stop here and just do a little detour?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So without naming names, because okay, so we know that there's a handful of women in the YouTube Streets Delphi community who have been sexting Keegan Klein over these past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of these women who have been sexting, I'm not talking about the one who was crying for him at his hearing, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about the one who loves him and is an alcoholic. I'm talking about uh, the one who had talked to us on several occasions
Mm-hmm.
and said that Keegan had a fetish or was very very interested in slaughtering hogs. Had you ever heard that from that particular individual? I'm wondering if you were in that conversation, it was just me with that particular individual.
um I do remember the fascination for um the hog slaughtering hogs, and the individual that I'm thinking is one that it's the one that I met first before the other person that we're talking about here, or
Yeah,
the
I
other
guess
the
what I'm
other
saying
female,
is, do
the
you
one that was
remember? Do you
okay, the
remember the
individual that I
details of the hog, the fascination with the slaughtering hogs? That piece.
no well I just heard the basic that he was fascinated with slaughtering hogs, okay,
Hmm.
And but that individual was not sexting with Keegan.
Allegedly. Okay.
Or yeah,
But
allegedly.
I'm saying that, okay, what I learned about this
Hmm.
when I had this discussion, they said he was very interested and very almost like had a fetish for describing the process of slaughtering the hog and the tools you would use and where you'd stick them and all
Hmm.
that. Do you remember any of that, or was it just me
No,
that got that?
no, it was just you. I
Okay.
just heard the basic line, which was he had a fascination first.
Oh yeah, I
You
had a
know.
deep conversation about
Uh
this
huh. Yeah.
aspect, so I guess I
I
should
think
just
I
say
think that conversation was a one-on-one between you
one
and
on
that
one. So,
individual.
so let me say
Yeah.
that. So what I had learned by speaking with a particular individual who knew Kagan very well is that he had described on multiple occasions in a very strange way the process of killing a hog and how much he loved it and which tools you would use and how you had to do it in a certain way and the sounds they made and all this stuff. And so I think it's interesting that this gentleman who whistle blew for you,
Mm-hmm. It
he
is.
brought that up.
Right.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'll leave that for later because I do have a theory about this and
Okay.
tied into the murders.
Oh,
But especially
certainly.
if you look at Abby's injury, it's a very particular injury that would be similar to what you do to a hog, uh, in the way that this young lady had described to me, that Keegan had described it. So anyway,
Okay.
I'll move on. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I wanted to throw this up real quick because
Hmm.
just to get it out of the way, because you
Okay.
also let me see. Let me see if I can manage this. Let's see. You also had done a little Q&A. Any points of this Q&A you want to highlight, or should we?
No, let's read it first. I wouldn't remember, prof. I have
Okay.
I don't have that file.
Well, there's
It,
some
I have it
things
over
that
here.
are
I can go
just a
get it.
repeat.
Yeah, just read it and then I'll touch some points.
Yeah. It says, well, I'm going to skip ahead some of this. The
Yeah,
house
read.
on Canal Street.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the house or what kind of activity went on? And that's Tony Klein's house in Peru, Indiana. I never went there, but I have friends who did go there. Who and what did they do there? Amber Turley and David Ramusin used to go there to party or score dope. How old were they? My age. Okay. Then you say, do you think they were involved in the murders? Yes, he told us that's why he went to Vegas to hide and was very worried about the cops taking his computer. So once again, this is in your Q&A. Okay, I want to
Yeah.
highlight this for the listeners. Listen, in the Q&A that Noe did after, he says, "Do you think they were involved in the murders?" And the response, this individual said, "Yes. Keegan told us that's why they went to Vegas to hide." Okay, to hide, not for any other reason, not because there was a pre-planned vacation. So the whole thing with going to Vegas was to hide, and he was worried about the cops taking his computer. Okay, so he says, moving on, he says, "What about his dad? Do you know him? And what can you tell us about his dad?" I didn't know him personally, but according to my cousin and friends, he would have friends over who were into motorcycles and cars, and they would party with them. Do you recall him having any association with any biker gangs? No, but my cousin would know. She hung around his group of friends. Did Keegan Klein receive a lot of money, church funds, and or visits by any women? Yes, his dad used to give him money. He told us they had a hog farm in Delphi, and that's how they made money. Some young chick visited him. She looked 18 or 19. He said it was his wife or girlfriend. I can't remember. What? What? You know, we have, like I said, we had several girls in this community, women, sexting Keegan. Can, oh, tell me more about the hog farm. Was it the packing hard hog farm? Not Packers. He said it was a separate hog farm and it belongs to his family. And they sold hogs to Packers, and that's how they made money. Did he tell you where this farm was located? No, he just told me it was a family farm, and his dad and him often went there because people worked for them there, and that's how they made money. Is there anything else he told you? Did he know about Abby and Libby? Yes, he told us he knew both of them and that his dad knew Libby's parents. He knew both of them.
They're
And
from
Tony knows the Libby's parents, allegedly.
allegedly.
All right. Well, any other thoughts on this whistleblowing, or any other thoughts that you want to express about your whistleblowing to Detective Kendall and Mr. David Vito or anyone else?
Um, okay, that was interesting. The Q&A, and yeah, I'd have to read it or hear it again to rehatch what he said. But yeah, the the thing with the hog farm, you know that I'm a strong believer that the most obvious is usually your answer, and I learned that from a very well trained law enforcement friend of mine, very prepared professional, and the first thing that came to my mind was the hog slaughter shop across the street from where the girls were from where the girls
Right,
were
that's
dropped
across
off.
the street directly.
Hmm.
That's what Joe Schwisher and I and you, we
Hmm.
all really were highly concerned with that slaughterhouse or Mears butcher shop across the street.
Hmm. Yeah, and then the deal where they went to Vegas to hide. Remember that there's there's been talk in the past about they went to Vegas to sell a video or this or that. To me, the first thing that came to my mind was that they were trying to they were trying to distance themselves from the you know the heat, and it's been said that I believe Kagan, I believe, or one of them had been searching the Delphi murder case while they were away in Las Vegas. So that was another point. And another PowerPoint is the again he mentions again that Tony knew the family because during my tenure I always said what Kagan told me, which was that Ron Logan was a family friend, and that's why they were investigating him in 22 because um, the owner of the property where the girls were found was a family friend and he had passed away. So they were investigating him in regards to that. So there's another thing that kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think we have a whole other show we could do on this subject matter.
Yeah. Okie
But
doke.
Heavy Metal Rehab sent me this, and I want to thank her for that. She says this is from Eye of the Chicken Hawk. I would like you guys to listen to this. A female acquaintance of the two men testified Douglas asked her if she would assist him in killing young women in the desert while making sex films that included bondage and sadism. Douglas apparently believed having a woman present would make it easier for the victims to trust him. And listen to this particular highlighted portion. Phillips testified that Douglas told her that his plan was to bury the bodies to eliminate any evidence, and they could make a lot of money. Get ready for the drum roll. Hold up, let me get the drum roll. Brrr. Hope my drums right not work tonight.
Here, we'll do this.
Hello, hello. I'm not hearing it. Hey, Noe.
Yeah,
Check, check.
I can hear you,
Hello.
Prof.
Oh, sorry. Did you hear my drum roll?
No.
Oh, I had a sound glitch. Let me try it. That they could make a lot of money selling the films to people in Las Vegas. People in Las Vegas selling the film. All right. All right. So thank you, Heavy Metal Rehab. She says Las Vegas is well known for people going there to sell snuff films. So it could have been, in my opinion, it could have been both. It could
A or
have been
B
to
or
go
both.
hide and to go
Uh-huh.
make some quick money. Okay. To go hide and to go sell the films because we know this. There was a camera at Ron Logan's residence. Okay, let's be real here. There was a camera and there was lighting set up in Ron Logan's home. Okay, we know that. That's actual fact. We also know some more that you're going to be learning in the next month about what they did with Abby and Libby regarding photography. So the question is, what happened to that? Anyway, moving on. I think we're done with Keegan. Noe, unless you have anything else to say, I'd like to move on to our next.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome.
Yep, sounds good.
Well, we remember last time you were on. Okay, last time you were on here,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about a particular incident with that you were witness to in the Wabash County Hyatt Regency
Mm-hmm.
involving a young man who was in love with a tranny buff named Skinhead
Mm-hmm.
Mike. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
would you like you want me to pull up the slide or you want to kick us off here?
Um, you you're the you lead it. There
Okay.
you
Well,
go.
I'll start you off with this. We got this thing here, so I'll let you.
Okay.
You know
Oh,
the story better than.
okay.
Get
All
ready to
right.
laugh, yo.
Let's get ready. Okay, so Prof did a very good job in introducing or in and titling the show. Um, and this is just one example of a sanctuary. You know what? How, in my opinion, I feel that these individuals they get away with a lot. You know, and while in custody, at least in my experience at the county level, right? And DOC, it might be a total different ball game for these individuals, but here, we got to consider that it's small town. They went to school together. They're cousins and uncles, and friends in the streets, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how in my opinion, that's how they end up getting special treatment, right? And this individual that I'm gonna talk about, Skinhead Mike, he was charged with child molesting a child under the age of 14, and he violated his probation. Um, he violated his probation for a separate charge. Okay. The child molestation was some years back, and I don't have any other than I know it was child molestation, and he's a registered sex offender. I don't have any information uh, or details in regards to that crime, but I do know that he had violated probation for like a battery that he something like that that he was. on probation for, and they he ended up having to kind of like me, go and do your time. Um, so during the time there, another local came in, and he was a young kid, a 19-year-old, came in for charges of terrorism, domestic terrorism, threats on TikTok. He's a young white nationalist, and he was he was attacking or making comments on TikTok in regards to the Jews, right? And he had a level 5, I believe, a level 5 felony for it. And during this time, he's very young. Um, that's the individual that Prof just put on the screen, and very young, very immature, and as you guys can see. Um, but anyway, he started gravitating towards this black guy, a 61-year-old black guy who it was kind of weird because he was a Nazi, he was a white supremacist, white nationalist. He came in skipping in and hopping into the dormitory, and the first thing he did was the salute to whatever, and then um, the Nazi salute, right? But anyway, he gravitated towards this black guy, and after so long, we were like, that's kind of weird, right? But oh well, everybody does what they want, right? And well, throughout the time, we realized that they were acting kind of weird. They were try to spend as much time together alone in their cell. Now they lived in separate cells, right? The black gentleman lived with Skinhead Mike. They were roommates, and this younger individual, this 19-year-old, he lived like two doors down. But when during the day, when everything is happening, he would sneak in and spend time with a black guy. So we noticed that, and before you know it, somebody catches them kissing. That's and that's like there. That's the elderly, 61-year-old individual who. He was not a sex offender. He was in for burglary, I think theft. Uh, but anyway, they started this relationship, and finally, Skinhead Mike, you know, went in and said, "You know what? You're not allowed to come in this dorm any in my or cell anymore, and you gotta you gotta chill out. I do not." Um, I do not approve of you guys spending too much time alone. This is my cell. I share it with you. This kid's got to leave. No more. Well, it turned out into a big issue, and actually, they had a fight, a huge fight, and Skinhead Mike, he went in there, um, and beat both of them up. He beat both of them up. And the result of that was a in-house disciplinary for what they call mutual combat. So, so he beat up the 61-year-old and he beat up the 19-year-old, and he got, I believe, 21 days in the hole for that. It was ruled a in-house disciplinary, so no charges were filed. So basically, the three of them were sent to the hole separately, of course, and the 19-year-old and the 61-year-old were kicked out of the dorm, and and it was just a crazy situation. And I don't know, Prof, if you want to highlight a few, like this
Oh
is
yeah.
just if you want to highlight a few of the uh, points, whatever you feel is or if you want to read the whole thing, fine. It's just half a page.
Let me try to read it. I
Hmm.
need to get my glasses on.
Oh, let me while you do that, let me say quickly that on that on that cover page, which you see the pictures of Skinhead Mike and the
Yeah, yeah,
61-year
yeah.
old. And okay, I'm there because I was a witness. Okay, so Prof, you'll read it,
Yeah, so
you guys
we
will
can
make
see what it
sense.
says is suspect, suspect, and witness. And
I was a
David
witness.
know he's the witness, and there's three suspects here, and you can
Mhm.
see who are these three again. So who's the top guy?
Okay, the top guy is a 61-year-old elderly boyfriend, and
There he
then the
is.
next one is Skinhead Mike, which they were roommates. Then the third one is me, and then the fourth one is the boyfriend, the 19-year-old boyfriend.
Just say that all again. So who were the two kissing? The two at the top? The two at the top?
No,
No, okay.
the
Let's
61-year-old, the 61-year-old black
there you go.
man, and the
Uh-huh.
19-year-old
And now
white nationalist, supremacist, neo-Nazi, skinhead, hippie,
so
everything. He was there.
wait.
Yeah,
So skinhead Mike
skinhead Mike
is
got mad. Said,
also how many white nationalists we got in this unit?
"Bro, it's the KKK in there.
Okay,
Come on."
let's go. Let me read it. It says while conducting the jail, I don't know. It's hard to read this, but the jail. Can you read it? While
Uh,
conducting the
well,
jail.
hold on. Go back one page with the one with the pictures.
Oh yeah, we've been there, done that, covered it.
Okay, it starts way at the bottom.
Oh, I
Uh,
see. I can't read that.
entered 11/9/2025 at 3:57 by Officer Campbell, batch number 393. That's where it starts.
Okay. It says while working a shift at the Wabash County Sheriff's Department, Officer M. Campbell witnessed the
The
following
following
event
events.
and know that they are true to the best of my ability. Okay, you want to take it from here?
Okay. While conducting the jail site walk on 11/7/25 at approximately 5:25, I was in the D5, Delta 5 on the upper tier. While waiting for the door to open, I heard a really loud bang. I looked down at the I looked down at the inmate in the day room in D5 and asked if he heard the noise. He stated yes. Be careful going in there. I proceeded to enter Delta 6 when immediately inmate Ramos begins yelling into the cell to stop fighting. It was at this time that I went into the cell and immediately pulled inmate Owens out of the cell. I told inmate Moyer, okay, inmate Owens is
That's the old guy. That's
the
this guy.
black guy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And I told inmate Moyer, which that is skinhead
Skinhead Mike.
Mike
Yeah.
Moyer, to take a seat and locked his cell door. I also locked down the whole block at this time because I didn't know the full story. Once everyone was locked down at approximately 5:28, I escorted inmate Owens to Delta 13, while Officer L. Frost, batch number 388, and Officer Wilcox, batch 242, stayed behind to speak and check on inmate Moyer. Inmate Owens and I walked into the into the pod interview room at 5:30. This is in the AM, okay? This isn't right after breakfast. At 5:30, while asking inmate Owens about the incident, he stated he was just trying to be friends with inmate Bell. Inmate Owens openly admitted in this interview to engaging in a mutual combat. It was noted at this time that inmate Owens had a small amount of blood coming out of his finger. Owens was brought to D15 as well as all of his belongings, and was consequently placed on administrative segregation, aka the hole. All right. I'll let you read the next one.
At approximately 5:40, Officer L. Frost and myself pulled inmate Ramos out into D13 to get his side of the story. Inmate Ramos informed me that inmate Bell was also involved and he threw some punches. I decided to leave Officer Frost and Ramos and deal with this immediately. I went and watched footage, and it is pretty obvious that Bell was involved in this situation. I entered D6 at approximately 5:58 to get inmate Bell put on admin cell segregation, i.e., the hole in the cell booking. It was, what is that, noticed at this
It
time that
was
he
no,
was,
it was noted at
oh,
this
noted
time.
that he was punched in the face and he had a bloody lip. Due to the severity of the violation, all three inmates have been placed in cells by themselves and placed on admin segregation, as well as received CABs for A103 fighting.
Okay.
Okay.
CABs are what they call the disciplinary notices, and the A103 is the level of the charge, which is A is the highest charge for fighting.
Yep. And it says, I'm going to rush ahead. It says that all three got 24-hour notice.
Hmm.
Inmate Owens admitted to violating the rule A100 fighting at approximately 5:30 on my body cam. Inmate Moyer admitted to violating rule A100 fighting at approximately 5:47 on body cam. Inmate Bell believes he was saving Owens, and that's why he jumped into the fight. He won't
Hmm.
admit to fighting, as he just says he was helping. However, you can see him rush into the cell approximately 5:25 and begin joining the altercation for a brief period of time.
You want me to take over?
Yeah, you take over because we can wrap this one up. But
It is for these reasons that I find inmates Owens, Bell, and Moyer guilty of A103 fighting. Entered 11/8/25 at 14:31 by Officer Scheiber. While working as a full-time officer on 1/8/25, I, Officer Scheiber, recalled the following events to be true to the best of my ability. During a brief conversation with inmate Moyer on 11/7/25, implying that there had been sexual contact between inmate Bell and Owens, I opened inmate Bell's cell, the hole, because remember, he's at the hole now. At approximately 14:29, I asked Bell what had occurred between himself and inmate Owens before the fight had happened, telling inmate Owens that I was going to check camera footage and that this was his chance to be honest with me. Inmate Bell then told me that him and inmate Owens had been kissing each other on the cheek, neck, and head in the morning leading to the fight. He also told me that he had gotten pouches to snore from inmate Stout and snorted them. Due to lack of evidence on snorting pouches, there's no pending CAB. However, verbal warnings were given and jail staff were told to keep an eye out for such behavior. Okay. All right, so basically what happened, right? They were having a little touchy-feely, kissy affair throughout. I think it went for about a month or so.
oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Until Skinhead Mike exploded about it. Well, when he found out, like officially, it was not just one, two, or three. I mean, I witnessed the conduct myself, but I ignored it. You know, I thought it was weird, but I didn't even want to look in there. You know, and um, so yeah, after the little investigation thing and stuff, Schreiber gets in on it, and he asks Moore, what really happened? Why did you beat this guys up? Well, they're, you know, inappropriate conduct. And I don't like that shit in my cell. And then he went to Bell and confirmed it and said, "Is this true?" And Bell confirmed it, which is the 19-year-old. And he also volunteered information that there was some pouch snorting as well.
So,
But
so they're getting
uh-huh.
all twacked
Okay.
out on these
Yeah,
pouches,
and
making out
because
and pissing off Skinhead Mike.
so the final outcome of this is that Moyer served 21 days in the hole, and the Owens was moved after he served his 21 days. He was removed from that dorm, put in a different one, and the 19-year-old, he was charged with the Priya. And I don't know a lot about the Priyas. We're not talking about him yet, Prof.
Sorry, I jumped
Uh,
ahead. My bad.
okay. He got charged with the Priya, and I don't know much about that. I just know enough to know that it's like a in prison sexual, like a sexual complaint type of report where inmates are it could be an inmate accusing another inmate of sexual misconduct, or it can be uh, sexual misconduct against an officer or a staff member, or vice versa. And with that, he got removed completely from the facility. Uh, they won't house him there. They have to move him elsewhere. So the 19-year-old got the Priya, and Skinhead Mike 21 days, and Owens removed from the dorm. So that's
Yeah.
the
So
story on
anyhow,
that.
this is our comedic relief. This was our little funny story, and it is a follow up because a lot of people been asking about Skinhead Mike and Tranny Buff since Noe's been back. People have been asking me to tell the story again, and they go watch it because it's funny. So wanted to catch you guys up on that
Hmm.
piece of
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
and now you've seen the paperwork. So, but now we're going to get into the bad stuff. Okay, we're going to get into the subject matter of the show again. We're going to bring it on back. Guys, guys, bring it back.
What are they fighting or what?
No, I'm saying bring it in, bring it in. Yeah,
Oh,
that's your
oh,
job.
okay. Hey, can you give me a few minutes? I
Yeah,
gotta go to the
sure.
restroom.
Let me get
Okay,
you
I'll be
out of
right
here.
back.
Let's see. All right, bring it in, guys. I'm going to pull a Coach Cruz. Come on in. Yeah, so back to the subject matter at hand. So I hope you guys all, I hope you all, all you guys enjoyed the follow up on the Tranny Buff, Skinhead Mike, and Big Black John story. Um, but we're done. Okay, we're done with that. So yeah, they can't maintain not making out for the short stays that they're in there for. Uh, and apparently, skinheads don't care that they get horny enough. I guess they suddenly are not as racist as they were 5 minutes before. Anyhow, uh, so we're gonna dive in now to the subject matter of the show. Okay, the Chomo Farm of Peru and Wabash, Indiana. And remember this while you're remembering Tony and Keegan Klein, right? Tony and Keegan Klein, and that's not all. That's not all. They're more. They're more from Peru, even in terms of Delphi murders. If you put your thinking caps on, you got Sheena Cottrell, Palladino. You have Thomas Miller. You know, you start remembering the Peru connections. You got several troll farm individuals, some who allegedly were texting and sexting Keegan Klein. That's right, the Keegan Klein sexters and criers. You have several of them from Peru, oddly enough. Um, so I want to. Oh, look, looks like Noe's back, so we're good to go, and we're going to move on to our Chomo.
Hello. Thanks, Prof. You want to finish
Okay.
your thought?
No, someone's telling me my goddamn sound ain't working right again, and it's
Ew.
very frustrating.
Well, hey, ask someone else because it might be a troll trying to distract you because I can hear you clearly. Ask someone you can trust. Are we good?
Check, check. Yeah, my
I
settings are
can,
good. You guys just have to deal with it, okay? I'm sorry. I can't do this on the show. Okay.
Prof. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I said what I had to say. Let's move on.
Okay, but I also said ask one of your mods.
Listen, guys, there's nothing I can do except end the damn show and deal with it later. Okay? So please.
All right. All right. So here's the file. And what you have up there, this is where the good old boy system um, begins here. Let me first of all say that this individual here, he's a little bit slow, okay, and he's younger as well. He's like 24. So you know, everybody kind of like has a soft heart for him, and what I mean by that is I mean everybody from like the inmates to the staff to his friends, his family, his everybody and everybody and everybody. So it's important to say that because um he just we just got to be fair, um but what he did was very kick incline behavior like conduct on the internet. And this guy, uh, he was catfish or reaching out to minors and exposing himself and doing that type of conduct on video chats and stuff like that. And I believe that they opened this investigation and he got catfished pretty much. Um, he reached out to an account and ended up exchanging inappropriate uh, content with uh, who he thought was a 13-year-old girl. It turned out to be was an undercover operation, and they busted him, and he got charged with the charged with child exploitation. All right, so I'm gonna show this envelope real quick, and this was the where I kept his file because remember that I had to fight the staff, the high regency staff, to obtain all these and conserve all this information because they kept trying to take it away from me. But anyway, you guys might remember this. This is a uh, a depiction of this gentleman, and here's another one. Right, I've showed these before, but there's the like the main the charges and all the main information in regards to this gentleman's case. All right, Prof. So if you want to move forward and go to the next slide, PCA.
Well, I want to read this. I want to
Oh,
read
go
it.
ahead.
Okay, this says June 22nd, 2025. Wabash man arrested for child solicitation following 4-month investigation. Investigators with the Indiana State Police Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force began a criminal investigation in April 2025. That's last year, y'all. After
Mhm.
receiving a complaint about an individual using an online account to contact minors. Following the investigation, the Wabash County Prosecutor's Office issued a search warrant for a residence belonging to Ethan Cornett, 24, of Wabash, Indiana, Chomo Sanctuary City. On Friday, 18 July 2025, members of the ISP ICAC task force, the ISP Peru post, and the Wabash County Sheriff's Office executed the search warrant and seized multiple electronic devices. Cornett was taken into custody without incident and transported to the Wabash County Sheriff's Office. Arrested and preliminary charges. Listen to this one, y'all. Ethan Cornett, 24, of Wabash, Indiana, child solicitation, level 5 felony, inappropriate communication with a child, class A misdemeanor. This remains an active and ongoing investigation. No further information is available at this time. Detectives continue to examine all electronic devices. Okay, and I'm going to skip the other shit.
Uh-huh.
And this is the drawing Mr. Noe was showing.
Mhm. Now, it is very important. You know how I started by saying this is where the good old boy system kicks in? It's very important for me to mention this. Okay, it's not about the who. Okay, it's about the what here. Okay, and if someone or anybody um, doesn't like it, don't watch it, or or take a good look in the mirror. But it is important to say that this guy is the nephew of State Representative District 52 Larissa Sweet out of Wabash, Indiana.
Okay, stop
Uh,
there. Stop there. That's the important point that I want to hit. So please say that again very slowly for everybody so they understand what we're saying.
yeah, I said that I kicked it off with saying that this is where the good old boy system kicks in, right? And this guy here is the nephew of State Representative District 52 Larissa Sweet, Republican out of Indiana, the state of Indiana. Just this past summer, our lawmakers met with Trump in the White House to talk about laws. So that's who this individual is related to.
Yep. All right, so let's look at this.
Uh huh.
Here are your documents, charging documents. It says count one on or between April 5, 2025 and April 7, 2025, the County of Wabash. One Ethan D. Cornett, one person at least 18 years of age or older, did knowingly or intentionally solicit an individual he believed to be a child under 14 years of age to engage in fondling or touching intended to arouse or satisfy the sexual desires of either the child or Ethan Cornett. On or between April 5th and April 7th, the County of Wabash, State of Indiana, one Ethan Cornett did knowingly or intentionally communicate with an individual who he believed to be a child less than 14 years of age concerning sexual activity with the intent to gratify the sexual desires of Ethan D. Cornett. Okay. He committed the offense by using a computer network. Okay. So we're going to move on. This is a narrative of arrest. It says on April 16, 2025, I was contacted by Detective Ryan Short, the Wabash County Sheriff's Department. He stated that he had received communication from a detective in Iowa regarding an undercover chat operation that traced back to a potential suspect in Wabash County. That's right, this is coming from Iowa, right?
Mm-hmm.
He asked me to take over the case and provided me with the contact information for the detective. I then contacted Lieutenant Robert Snitzer with the Forest City Police Department in Forest City, Iowa, and he advised the following. In February 2025, his department started an undercover chatting operation. Listen up, y'all, especially you Troll Farm, listen up.
Hmm.
Undercover chatting operation in an attempt to be proactive in their online community. They created an account on Facebook for a young blonde girl named Molly Smith. The
Mm.
picture for the account was of a female deputy named Isabel Davis with the Kossuth County Sheriff's Office here in Iowa. The age regressed photo used an app, using an app. On April 5, 2025, at approximately 8:15 p.m., an individual on Facebook identifying himself as Ethan Cornett contacted this age regressed female. The conversation went as follows.
Okay, Prof. Um, do you wanna? Can I help you a little bit? How about I am MS and you are EC?
Let's do it the other way.
Okay, I'll be EC. All right, EC is Ethan Cornett,
This is
and this is
Facebook.
basically what they found on his phone, right, on the messenger uh, conversation.
Check.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing? Hi,
Hi.
Prof. How's your night going, hun? Where are you from?
Good. Iowa. You?
I'm from Wabutucky. I'm from Wabash. I'm from Wabash, Indiana.
Ha ha. How old are you? I'm 13. 13.
I'm
There it
20.
is. God damn it.
What?
13. 13.
Oh, okay. I'm 24. You're too young for me. Could you send me a picture of you?
If I'm too young, why you want to pick? That sounds like Bojangles. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Watching TV. You?
Nothing. Could I video chat for a few?
Drops my phone in the water so nothing really works. Sorry. You're okay with talking to me even though I said I was too young?
Yeah. Could I try calling you?
Speaker doesn't work because of the water.
Oh, would you send me a pic of you?
I don't like talking the phone anyway.
Okay.
Like a face pic?
Yeah.
Okay, sends an age regress photo. Now you.
You're pretty. Sends a photo wearing a hat.
Smiley face emoji.
Would you send me a video
Like what?
of you playing with yourself? I'll send you one.
Two smiley face emojis. I feel weird doing that. I'm only
Could,
13.
could I send you one?
If you want, I don't know.
Okay. Would you send me one too, baby?
I don't know. You don't have a girl?
Video of Mel masturbating over the toilet.
Oh my, that big. Smiley face emoji and heart emoji.
No, I don't have a girlfriend. Would you send me a video of you?
Give me time. I've never done that before.
Okay. Are you going to? Missed video call.
I told you my speaker don't work. How far away are you from Iowa? Going to bed soon. Or hun.
Hun. Hey. Oh, first April 7th. So this is a week later or whatever. Maybe a day later. Uh, April 7th. Hey, how are you? How was your day, baby? Or how was your day? I'm sorry.
Good, you.
I'm doing good. Could I video chat you?
I still have a broken phone.
Oh, could you send me a picture of you?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Lieutenant Schnitzer, with the assistance of Deputy Brandon Bengston with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office in Iowa, conducted an open source search of Ethan Cornett and believed that they had located an individual in Wabash County, Indiana. They then contacted Detective Ryan Short. They provided me with the URLs for both accounts. Okay, then it says they also provided me with both the photo of the female deputy as well as the age regress version In addition to a signed waiver, supplemental reports, screenshots of the conversation, the video of the male masturbating, the video of the conversation showing the exact timestamp. I conducted a Bureau Motor Vehicles name search and came back with Ethan Cornett, 300 West Wabash, Indiana. I matched Mr. Cornett's BMV photo to the photo sent by the suspect's Facebook account. On April 22, 2025, I authored and submitted a search warrant affidavit to Miami County courts for Facebook regarding gaining access to the suspect account as well as the what does that say? The user account?
Utilized.
Okay,
The
utilized by
use.
Lieutenant Snitzer. On April 29, 2025, I received a signed search warrant back from the courts. I submitted it to Facebook via their online portal on May 6, 2025. I received a return from Facebook on May 20, 2025. Inside the two returns were photos, subscriber information, messages, and IP addresses associated with the logins of the accounts. The suspect conversation in question was not located inside either account, which means he dirty deleted them. This may
Mm-hmm.
be due to Meta Platforms, which is the parent company of Facebook, moving all of their messaging platforms end to end encryption. I did see the suspect's Facebook account that he did search and view the UC account several times in April 5th, 2025. Facebook advised that the name for the suspect account was Ethan Cornett with an address of redacted and a hometown of Wabash, Indiana, Wabatucky.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes on and it says June 17, 2024. It also lists a verified phone number. Inside the photos folder of the suspect account, I located several photos of a male individual that I matched to Mr. Cornett's BMV photo. This account is still active. Facebook provided all IP addresses leading to the legal process being signed. The most commonly used IP address, as well as the IP address associated with logins to the account, on April 5, 2025. Utilizing an open source program called Maximind, I determined that the IP address came back to TWN Communications. On May 21, 2025, I authored and submitted a subpoena affidavit to the Wabash County courts for TWN Communications regarding subscriber information connected to suspect's IP address. I received a signed subpoena back from the courts on May 23, 2025, submitted it to TWN Communications via email on July 11, 2025. I received communications back from TWN Communications stating that without a port number, they would be unable to narrow down the search to a specific address. Unfortunately, ESPs do not record port numbers for their users, so there is not one available. I conducted a local check of the verified phone number that Facebook provided. I saw that on June 14, 2025, a male subject called 911 in Wabatucky from the phone number and responded and requested EMS referencing having a mental episode. He advised they responded to the address. The male caller identified himself as Ethan Cornett. On July 11, 2025, I authored and submitted a residential search warrant affidavit to the Wabash County Courts for the residents of 8310 300 West Wabash. I received a signed search warrant back from the courts on July 17th, on July 18th, in addition to other officers. I, with addition of other officers, served the warrant on the residents. Upon walking up to the property, two male subjects and one female subject came out of the house to meet us. Identified the female subject as Andrea Cornett, and
Mm-hmm.
the two male subjects as Ethan Cornett and Richard Rucker. Officers cleared the residence while I spoke to Mr. and Mrs. Rucker. I explained to them that we had a search warrant for the resident, specifically for the electronic devices. They stated they knew this day would come eventually and pointed us to their bedroom, stating that they had old cell phones and a tablet they had taken from Mr. Cornett several months prior. I asked them why they thought we'd be coming there, and they stated it was because Mr. Cornett had been watching porn. They wouldn't elaborate any further. They stated they had taken the phone and tablet from Mr. Cornett without his knowledge and told him they had been destroyed.
Okay, can I say something real quick here?
Mm-hmm.
I learned from sources because this kid is the same age as some of my family and close people in my circle who went to school with him. I discovered through talking to other sources that the family knew that he was doing this inappropriate sexual requesting sexual content from minors ahead of time, and that statement
Adds
there
up.
proves that that's true. So yeah, he'd been doing this um, prior to the arrest. Okay, go.
Okay. A search of the residence resulted in finding a blue Motorola cell phone and a silver Samsung tablet, both located in Mrs. Rucker's bedroom. An additional phone was located in Mr. Cornett's front pocket of the shorts he was wearing. The phone was identified with a blue Cricket cell phone. I observed that this phone was powered on and did not have a passcode. What does that say? The paper's wrinkled. When I opened the
It
phone,
says it says I minimize the app and place the phone in airplane mode before shutting the phone off. Is that what you're?
no, I got it. It says when I opened the phone, I observed it was logged into Facebook Messenger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I explained to Mr. Cornett that we had a search warrant for the residence, asked him if he'd be willing to talk to me at the sheriff's department in a recorded interview. He stated he would, and I provided him with courtesy transportation, quote unquote. Oh my God. Okay. On the way to the
Bro,
sheriff's department, Cornett asked if he was under arrest, to which I stated he was not. And this was a voluntary interview, and he had every
they,
right to say no.
they lied.
Okay. He acknowledged and asked if he could guess why I was there. I informed him that any conversation regarding why we were there would need to be done in an audio and video recorded room and asked him to wait until we got to the sheriff's office. Once at the sheriff's office, I asked Mr. Cornett if he needed to use a restroom or wanted something to drink, to which he stated no to both questions. I had Mr. Cornett sitting in interview room 2 in a chair that was closest to the door but facing away from it and initiated the recording. Explained to Mr. Cornett that everything in that room was now audio and video recorded, to which he acknowledged. I read Mr. Cornett his Miranda rights. Wow, good job. To which he stated he understood and signed the written waiver. Mr. Cornett stated the following. His name was Ethan Cornett. His current address is 8310 South 300 Wabash, West in Wabash. He resides with his mother, Andrea Rucker and Richard Rucker. The number for his current cell phone is redacted. He purchased it from the Cricket store in Wabash. He has had that phone for a couple of months. The phone he had before that was destroyed after he accidentally dropped it. He could not recall his current email address. He does not have, I mean, he does have internet at the house, but was unsure of what the company was. The Wi Fi was password protected, but he couldn't remember it. However, his phone can connect to Wi Fi. For social media, he uses Facebook and YouTube. He doesn't have an account for YouTube and couldn't remember his current username for Facebook. He couldn't remember his old Facebook account, email, or password, so he created a new one when he got the new phone. There was not a PIN code on his current phone. He didn't remember if there was one on his old phone or if there was what it would be, or if there was what it would be. When asked about why he thought we were there, he stated he thought it was because of watching porn. When asked to elaborate further, he said he didn't know if the porn he watched was illegal, but clarified he
Mm,
doesn't look at quote unquote minor stuff.
bro.
Bruh. Other
Oh
than
my
that, he had no
God.
idea why we were there. That's like this. Yeah, I'm not smoking dope in here. Okay, he doesn't talk to anyone on Facebook other than his girlfriend, Marissa Davis. After explaining to Mr. Cornett about why I was there, he stated the following. He didn't recall Molly Smith. His Facebook account had been hacked in
Come
the
on
past.
now.
When shown a
Keegan.
when
Come
shown a
on,
picture of
Keegan.
Molly Smith, he stated he remembered her. He
I
also
don't
recalled that
remember
he
her.
messed up. He messed up.
You
When asked to
missed it.
elaborate, he stated he had dirty talk with Molly Smith. When asked her age, he stated he thought she might have been 15. He's
Still.
exaggerating. And asked to confirm if he was right about her age. Asked me to confirm. He knew he shouldn't have been messing with her. He was the one who initiated the conversation with Molly Smith after seeing her profile on Facebook. When asked to elaborate about the dirty talk, he admitted to sending her a picture of his penis. His peen. He asked Molly to send him a photo, but she did not. He has never done this before, allegedly, and he was just going through a lot at the time of the incident. Excuses don't matter. When shown screenshots of the conversation, Mr. Cornett admitted to remembering and also confirmed it was his old Facebook account that was on his old phone. When asked to elaborate what he meant when he asked for a video of her playing with herself, Mr. Cornett said, like a porn video. She's 13, bro. When shown a still shot of the video that was sent from Mr. Cornett's Facebook account, he remembered that it was a video of him playing with himself in either the bathroom or his room. He confirmed the video was him masturbating in his bathroom. He knew what he was doing was wrong and that eventually he would get caught. When asked when he started dating his current girlfriend, he stated July 2, 2025, and that he was not in a relationship during the time of the incident. I concluded the interview and called the prosecutor's office. The decision was made to take Mr. Cornett into custody for child solicitation as well as inappropriate conversations with the child. Trooper Wilkinson handcuffed Mr. Cornett's hands in front of his body and double locked him after checking for proper clearance. We then escorted him down the hall to the secure side of the sheriff's office, where he was released into custody of the jail staff without incident. Shortly after this, I received a phone call from Andrea Rucker asking for an update as the officers at her residence had already concluded their search and left. I advised Mrs. Rucker of the charges and that Mr. Cornett would have an initial hearing on the following Monday at 1 p.m. Mrs. Rucker advised that she was not surprised at all, as Mr. Cornett was mentally handicapped and she was his legal guardian. Wait, advised that she was surprised as he was mentally handicapped. I
Mm-hmm.
asked her about who her internet company was, to which she stated TWN Communications. Also, when asked about his previous phone that he stated he had destroyed or had been destroyed, she stated it was the blue Motorola cell phone in our possession. Ooh, rough. She advised that they had lied to Mr. Cornett and told him it had been destroyed. When asked why she purchased a new phone instead of giving the old phone back, she advised that because she told him it was destroyed, it would have created more problems than it was worth when he realized they lied to him. I transported the seized devices to ISP Peru, red flags, where I packaged them into evidence and have requested a forensic exam. Okay, we're going to fast forward. We're going to pull this down. Sorry about this, Noe.
No, no, no. Go back.
Okay,
That's it.
that's it. So let's pull
I
it
don't
down.
have it. Yeah.
I want you to
Okay.
talk. Hold on, I'm trying to get this out of our face. Listen.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the the family knew. Okay, they knew. They took away his devices, and accordingly to my sources, and when I say my sources, these are very, very, I'm talking about uh, an individual who works in social work, who's just graduated college. She was her, I she was my peer support counselor at Friends. So she's very credible. I believe her. She went to school with him. She was best friends with the sister, his sister, Ethan's sister, and the family knew. They just didn't know what to do. And Andrea Rocker probably did the best thing she thought of, which was confiscate the devices, hopefully put a stop. But the kid is mentally challenged. So um but I he I'm sorry, his attorney, um his attorney defended him on the basis of incompetency because of his mental capacity, and the outcome of his case was he was placed in the mental hospital. um, I believe, according to him, and they did take him away before my time. Before I got out, he did about 5 months with during the same time that I was there. So the word is that he ended up going to mental hospital. Okay. Now this kid, he'd get away with anything and everything. Okay. He had cases for mutual fighting. He snorted, I don't know, gosh, how many pouches, man. He uh used his Bible to cut lines and snore them. He was always just asking me for food, asking me for pouches, just spoil a good old boy, completely, and the fact that all the staff would give him chances. he had like 5 disciplinary cases. Okay, never served one day in the hole. In the meantime, Tranny Buff sends me to suicide watch. And so, why are you doing this, Coach Cruz? Because you don't you don't like treat people who commit this type of crimes like with special treatment and favoritism, just because you know them and just because you know that he's connected to uh, the local politician, etc., and let him get away, and then just get a smack on the hand, on the wrist,
And
and
what?
end up in state hospital. When I have spoke to other individuals where people just like Ethan, they go to prison, man. They go to DOC, you know. So I have a pickle with the system for and the local system here, where like they gave him all kinds of breaks, man.
And why
You
are they letting him snort
be oh
the nicotine
they
pouches?
caught him snoring pouches multiple times, and they would just make him throw away the pouch or never. He got written up for fighting. He got written up for communicating, inappropriate communication, um talking, trying to talk to the girls across the through the door. He got written up for having unauthorized possession, all kinds of, like, 4 or 5 write-ups, man. Did not do one day in the hole. They would always write them up and kind of like throw away the case. Okay, so I have a pickle with the system over that, because I got written up for touching a button to communicate, for uh minor things. I can't remember. I mean, we already talked about my CABs, and then it's like me. I went from just kicking back, drawing, doing little YouTube conversations, and reading my Bible, and then etc. And ended up in the hole. And there's this kid right here who's got like a heavier felony, you know and getting away with everything left and right, just because he is the nephew of Larissa Sweet, state representative of
Thank you.
District
Thanks for bringing it
52.
home. I'm trying to get us back. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, the good old boy system. Yeah, I got a pickle with that,
The
and
nephew of
that's
a politician is
mm-hmm.
that's bringing
Yeah,
it full circle.
and if anybody, and I'm talking about anybody, local, statewide, I don't care, back home or wherever, have a problem with me putting my face and my voice in regards to what I'm doing, just don't watch it, or it doesn't matter to
Well,
me.
speaking of politicians, let's move forward. Let's
Hmm.
move forward to another one.
Yeah, we got 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Can we do it in
let's get
20?
done with this. We'll be
It's
fast.
a small one, so yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Oops, wrong one.
This is what I got for you. State of Indiana versus Jonathan C. Vanderpool, Wabash
Woo.
Circuit Court, Class C felony,
Hmm.
child molesting.
Ooh.
You want to tell us about this?
Yeah, I got to be very careful with this one, because it's a very critical situation here. And even
Allegedly.
though, uh,
Allegedly.
it's a good old boy system, but even though I was not in custody when this gentleman was at the Hyatt Regency, I know a lot about the case because it happened right before I went in, and he had just gotten transferred to DOC weeks before I got there. But this gentleman, to start off with, he's very well connected to the court systems in Wabash County, um, and it's really sad for me to have to talk about this because um, I really respect and I like his uncle a lot. His uncle is the sitting judge of Superior Court here in Wabash County. He's a great guy, and but this guy Jonathan that we're talking about, so he's connected in that respects. Also, the pickle with me is that, well, what do they do? So what does Wabash do? The way he was exposed was through a Facebook community page, where somebody somehow got the information that he was being charged with, I believe, child molestation, and posted it on the Facebook page. And then all hell broke loose. It became public. What they did was, because he's connected to a sitting judge, they changed the venue. They ordered they put a gag order on the case and transferred the case to Kosciuszko County in Warsaw, Indiana. So nobody knew here, right? But during the time when he's going through these legalities, this guy, this gentleman, he is the he's a board member of our local um, Wabash Area Theater Club. This is a club for young kids who enjoy drama, and they do little plays for Christmas, etc. And he was the board member. Him and his wife were board members of this club, and he was allowed. That's how they found out, because he was allowed to continue as board member, doing plays and things like that with minors. And nobody knew that he had these charges until this one, a parent, I believe, exposed him on this Facebook group.
Yeah, let me read this so people can catch up because kind
Uh-huh.
of drifting here. Let's see. So these are the charges, right? This is a charge. Child molestation, 9/20/2024. Okay. Now, it says, to whom it may concern, I became aware of the charges against John Vanderpool on the day I was nominated and appointed to the board. Prior to the meeting, I brought this information to another board member and expressed my concerns. I told this member that if the charges were found to be legitimate, it would likely necessitate separating from John Vanderpool, as well as from Beverly Vanderpool, if she had knowledge of the alleged actions and failed to bring them to the board's attention. I was advised to allow the courts to reach a verdict and to let the outcome guide WACTs. What is that? The Wabash. Hold on, Noe. Check, check.
I'm sorry, I was muted. It stands for Wabash Area Theater Club.
Community
Is it
theater or something.
community? Okay,
Okay.
yeah. WACT,
Mm-hmm.
is that okay?
So basically, what
Wabash area.
he's saying that when he brought the concerns of these child molestation charges, that instead of the board agreeing to sever ties or separate from John Vanderpool, the board said, no, 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 let's wait until he's found guilty. Then we'll separate.
Mm,
After this board meeting, I learned about a photograph of John Vanderpool participating in the madrigal play with minors, an event about which I had no knowledge. Okay, so let me see. So what is this here from Heather? Would you describe just
okay,
briefly what?
okay. That's actually from another gentleman. Okay, Heather is the lady who runs the community page. It's a community Facebook page here in Wabash. It's kind of like the snitch page. If someone steals something and they post it on that page. Okay. And the person who wrote this was a board member who was assigned to be a board member, but resigned, okay, because he was made aware of this situation, okay, through Heather's page.
So this is this gentleman who is a former board member.
Yeah.
Okay. He says,
Well,
"Hello, Heather. I'm reaching out to you from the bottom of my heart out of the response from what has happened in the WACT board. I'd like to remain anonymous, but I want to share more information with you about what WACT has done. They had a meeting this morning to let Beverly Vanderpool talk about her case before taking a vote. Now, if you remember, this has to do with her husband, the alleged
mm-hmm,
child molester, being
mm-hmm.
allowed to perform with children recently in Wabash, Indiana Community Theater. Beverly stepped down as president after the response from other members, encouraging her, even though she did not want to step down. The board voted to keep her on. Can you imagine? Keep her on the board as well as director of the upcoming show at Charlie Creek Inn. The great nursing home escape on the weekend of Valentine's Day. What a coincidence, huh? What a coincidence.
Hmm.
Beverly was allowed to vote, and her vote ended up being the fucking tiebreaker in her favor.
Oh wow, I missed that.
I'm only one person who can only do so much, but I will tell you that I am boycotting Charlie Creek Inn and the Honeywell Center until they break ties with WACT. I might even call them and ask why they choose to keep working with her. Maybe change will finally happen if enough of us speak up, make phone calls, and boycott. God bless you for hearing me out. Thank you kindly. Please consider spreading this information. So, what this is saying is that this community theater, let me bring us in. Come on, come on. Bring
Good
it in.
boy
Bring it in.
system. The good
This
boy.
community theater in Wabash has an alleged, a charged, now let's bring this back. A individual who has been charged with child molestation. Sorry,
Happened
in the
last year.
Wabash Circuit Court. Allowed to operate in this community theater with the children of the community. This is what I mean about sanctuary city for pedophiles. Peru, Indiana, Wabash, Indiana, Wabatucky, the Peru
The
connection.
good old
Shout out
boys.
the good old boys of Central Indiana.
Keep going, prof. I got 10 minutes. 15.
Okay, well, let's see where I am because I think I just goofed. Let's see. I was here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we got that message. And who is this?
Ta-da.
This is the alleged child molester, Mr. John Vanderpool.
He looks like a Freemason.
Is he
Just
in a?
saying.
Did you say he was transferred over to where? No.
Okay, what happened was that because what I understand from talking to several sources is that they changed the venue because he's related to a judge here, which the judge is a great guy and I like him a lot. But it's sad, right? But anyway, they transferred the case to Kosciuszko County in Warsaw, Indiana, and they put a gag order
Oh, so
in
it's all hush
place.
hush now. So
The
where
good
is
old
it?
boy, bro.
Say
That's
it
what I'm
again.
saying, man. And I'm in suicide watch, bro, for
So where
substance
is
abuse.
it? It's in where has it been transferred? Change of venue?
Kosciuszko County in Warsaw, Indiana.
Ah, Warsaw.
Just three,
Okay.
two, next county over, north.
So they moved it over. Now,
Hmm.
who's the judge? Who is this gentleman related to? What's the name of the judge?
It's very simple to know, bro.
Judge Vanderpool. In which county?
Bro, come on, man. He's my friend. Come on. Well, I mean, I know him well, and I
Well,
like
I'm
him.
just saying this is part of the story. This is
I
so this
consider him. I consider him part of my recovery team.
okay. But this
He
this
he
gentleman
supports
here,
recovery. So that's the uncle, dude.
that's that guy, the judge is the uncle of this guy.
No, 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 no,
Okay.
Prof. The that guy is the uncle of the judge.
That this guy John is the uncle of the judge.
Yeah.
So because of the
Conflict of
conflict
interest,
of
Prof.
interest, they're moving this case to the next county over, which still that like you're a powerful judge in this county, you're still going to have influence in the
Now
next. But
remember that this happened in 24,
24,
right?
yeah,
So they he got charged, blah blah blah, boom, move it over, and hush hush, quack quack quack, the good old boy, quack quack
quack quack
quack,
quack.
and then nobody knows anything. They gag order in
Oh, it's
place.
all gagged. I forgot
No,
it. Yeah,
nobody knows anything, but somebody somehow found out, and they published it on that
it's the
on
judge.
the snitch page
So it's
that
the
that
same.
Heather
It's the Judge
runs.
Gold. The Judge Gold tactics is
Tactics. There you go,
everything
Prophet.
sealed, no cameras, hush hush hush. But
Quack quack quack.
in
Belly
the mean
bump.
in the meantime, we have the Wabash. What is it called again? A community theater.
It's the Wabash Area Community Theater.
The Wabash Area Community Theater is currently having a civil war over this. It's all falling apart because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, remember
quack
that
quack
letter
quack.
that you were reading was from a guy who got appointed to the board, and when he found out about it, he said, "No, I'm not. He's got charges, right? It's not right. I'm stepping down."
Yeah, and in the meantime, you have kids under the age of 14 who are going to perform in these plays.
And look, and I understand. Look, I know these people very well, man, and I'm sorry, but that's what happens when you put Kuch Kroos on suicide watch. That's
Oh,
what.
where's the whistle?
Yeah, and I'm very sorry because I have a lot of respect for, look, Judge Christopher Goff, the angel of Wabash, former Judge Amy Cornell, and Judge Vanderpool are very good people. I love them. They've been great people to me. Okay, thanks to them, I can say that I've been able to, be in recovery and stuff, with a mistake here and there, whatever. But so it's sad to me what happened, right? But it's the good old boy system, Prof. And it's sad, and I have a pickle with the good old boys because why am I going to go to suicide watch thanks to Tranny Buff? Okay,
Tranny Buff.
go on, Prof.
Yep. No, that's it. I guess my point is that this is what happens. Okay, this is a result of operating a sanctuary state for child molesters and pedophiles in a good old boy system in which when it's your people, it's hush hush hush, push it aside. When it's Keegan
Mhm.
Klein and it's Abby and
Dropbox.
Libby and then Abby and Mike Patty is tied to all the important people in the time. We hush hush hush, push it aside. When it's other dead kids, we hush hush hush, push it aside, and just we're going to pretend none of this happens. And we got the Yukios and the Bossies
Hmm.
and the Chris Longs and the Troll Farm and the Jinx 13s, and it's all hush 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 hush. Don't talk
It,
about this.
they're
Don't talk
all
about that.
cousins, and high school friends, and you know, and
So
relatives
this
and
is what
family
this is why I wanted to have you,
covering
Ben,
for each
tonight.
other.
Our point was to shine a light on the a very close zoom in on the Wabash County or the Peru and the Wabash area, the
North
the
Central
the
Indiana.
the North Central Indiana examples of this incestuous, pedophilic, good old boy protecting of weirdos. Okay, so I'm so glad you came because I think we accomplished the goal in that.
Mhm. And let me say real quick, result of this, to the best of my knowledge, is that he, like I said, he had been removed. He was already sent to DOC, but this happened last year, the end of 24 and last year. But anyway, I believe that he was sentenced to 16 years, 15 suspended, 16 suspend 15.
Say
and
that
he only
again.
has to do.
Let me go to my case and check it. Okay, let me go to
No, check
mine.
it for make sure because I want to. I don't want to
Yeah,
inform
let's.
people. But a source told me that they sentenced him to 16, suspend 15, uh, serve one.
Let's do it in real time. Real time. Oh, what is this? Ready for the drum roll? Wait, we got to go to quack 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 again. It's not on my case at all. I don't see it on my case at all. Let me go back. Has it been expunged or something? Let me go quack quack quack. Let me go look. I put in the case number this time. Hold on. Okay, sorry guys, I we're doing this on the fly. No, I know Noe's got to get out of here soon, so let's go back. Search by case number. Oh, there we go. Good. Okay, let's look at this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Did you find
Wow,
it?
wow, wow. Community corrections probation.
Yeah, because the person who gave me that information has a huge pickle about that because he's just a regular,
Good old boy. This
dude,
is the
a
good old
dude,
boy. Listen.
and he had the very same level of charge, and they gave him 16, served 16, and
Yeah,
um,
so look at
and
this.
he
So
would.
this is a class C felony, child molestation. It has been decided and it's probation. So it's just like thank you, Mr. Anarch 00141. This is the point. One rule for one, another set of rules for another.
Yeah, it's the good old boy system, Prof.
Yep.
And with that, Prof, let me finish off and wrap it up, and then you can take over. And if you want to
Perfect.
discuss a little more, like I said, okay. Thank you, first of all, and just want to say thank you to your audience. And bro, it's kind of rough, it's a rough one, but I stand on what I believe, and you know I'm it's just I don't have any words, man. But if anything, I just hope that it opens people's eyes to, it's happening. I've been here for 27 years in the state of Indiana, and I've always been aware of the news and stuff, but ever since the Delphi double murder, my eyes have been opened, and this is why I do what I do. I'm not perfect, I have my flaws, but when it comes to like children, me, I'd rather be a coach and teach kids, expand their knowledge and protect them. That's just how I feel. Um, I was in college once. I was a bar hopper. I've been to parties. I've struggled with substance and all that. But uh, there's three principles that I live by, man, and that's number one, it has to be consensual. Number two, no children. Number three, no animals. I am not going to
Way to
have
go.
intercourse with a
Way to go.
cow. Okay, it's common sense, bro. People who commit this type of acts and carry themselves with that type of conduct against children, I just have to be complete open minded and open about it. I don't approve of it at all,
Hmm.
and that's Coach Cruz.
That's why Coach Cruz is Troll Patrol,
And I
whistleblower.
approve. I approve this message. And yeah, Troll
So
Patrol,
everybody,
and that's why we have the Troll Patrol, Prof. Because just like ICE is doing with the immigration situation, the states that are so-called the sanctuary states, and they have ICE,
hmm
right? Okay, well, we are the Troll Patrol,
hmm
and we're gonna bring the safety of our children back to our communities in the state of Indiana, and that's why we are the Troll Patrol.
that's why there's whistleblowers, and you're the whistleblower. You got the whistle. Everybody, check out Noe's Cash App. Look, it's posted down below here.
Oh,
Cash App at, I'm sorry, $ venue 03. You guys, please send Noe off with some Cash App and thank you and showing of appreciation. And thanks, Noe.
well, thanks for that, Prof. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not expecting
that's Miss
anything
Deb.
like that, but
That's Miss Deb.
and
Miss
ahead of
Deb.
time, anybody who donates or whatever, thanks a lot, and those who have donated, I typically, I used to have a tip jar for guitar playing, but nobody ever tipped. So if you guys want to tip, fine, but Prof, you don't have to do that. And
So,
thank you for
sorry.
having me, Prof. And I hope that you have a great rest of the Friday night party. And I just want to say hi and goodbye to everybody, bro.
Awesome. Everyone,
Okay,
thanks. Thank Noe. Please thank Noe.
this is tough, but I'm moving forward. Have a good night.
Sorry, guys. You can see that that's difficult for Noe. You can see that that's difficult because it's complicated when people you care about, you know what I'm saying? And I can empathize. I can empathize. Anyhow, please tell Noe thank you as he leaves. I know he has a lot to do now. He has to run, he has some things to do. Um, but thank you, Noe, for coming. And so that's going to cover the first portion that I wanted to cover, which was this type of stuff, right? This type of stuff. Um, let me see. Check, 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 check. All right. Hello. See what we got here. All right. So let's see where we are here. Now, guys, look, it's no secret that I'm having audio issues. So please just leave me alone about it. I mean, for real. For real. You're making this really hard by complaining about the sound. There's nothing I can do. So if you can't handle it, just leave, please. There's nothing I can do other than stop the show. You have to understand how distracting it is, literally. Now, I've already addressed this multiple times tonight, too. Okay. Um, if you'd like this to be better, I, I need an interface or an amp. There's something wrong with this audio. Okay, there's something wrong here. and I'm not sure what it is, in order to get that happening, I have to pay for it. You understand what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to really elaborate on that. But no, there's some issue here that needs new equipment because I think it's the amplifier for the microphone that's not working. So, like, seriously, mods, the next time someone comes in and says a fucking single word about the sound, instantly delete it. Okay, can we see this? Okay, thank you. I think you guys are going to have to understand how difficult this is, especially when I don't have working equipment that's working properly. Please give me a moment. Okay, I think I'm good to go. Please just work with me here. So I wanted to go through some federal information, okay? Because we just did a little look at the local, okay? And so now we're going to change gears, and I want to look at a bunch of recent federal busts in Indiana. So, do we get it now? So, now we're not talking about the local stuff in the jail. I want to be talking about federal crimes, federal busts, federal operations that have occurred in Indiana in the past few years. So, we're going to be looking at a variety of things from the past few years, okay? So, the first thing is going to be this one here. All right. And there's, like I said, there's a bunch. So please just bear with me here. It's not the easiest. Okay. And I'm literally having technical difficulties the entire time for some reason. It's been the past two shows. I don't know what it is that all of a sudden my shit don't work, but this is really difficult when nothing is working. Okay. Nothing is working. But we're going to move into this, even though nothing's working. We're going to try. All right. So this says Fort Wayne man sentenced to 300 months in prison. Okay. Check this one out. This is from January 22nd of 2026. Okay. U.S. Attorney District, U.S. Attorney's Office, Northern District of Indiana. Jason L.P., 32 years old, of Fort Wayne, Indiana, was sentenced by United States District Court Chief Judge Holly A. Brady after pleading guilty to sexual exploitation of children and distributing child pornography, announced U.S. Attorney Adam Mildred. Check this out. P was sentenced to 300 months in prison, followed by a lifetime supervision in order to pay $12,000 in restitution. P was ordered to pay a special assessment of $5,000 pursuant to the Amy, Vicky, and Andy Child Pornography Victim Assistance Act of 2018, according to documents in the case. And this is where you pay attention. Okay? This is where we pay attention because this is what's happened. In the fall of 2024, P began communicating via social media with a 13-year-old female in Missouri. Remember, I said this is the entire Midwest, the victims. Remember, the other was in Iowa. But you notice the nexus here is Indiana? P offered to pay the child for sexually explicit photos and videos. After the child complied, P threatened to publish the photos and videos if the child did not return the money or provide him the names and contact information for her friends. Now, you see, this is 764 territory, isn't it? 764. The child, now being blackmailed, returned a portion of the money. However, P distributed a sexually explicit video of the minor to another minor child. The FBI and Allen County Sheriff's Violent Crimes Against Children Task Force executed a search warrant at P's residence in Allen County. Oh, sounds familiar, doesn't it? And found the communication devices that P used to commit the offenses. P was a registered sex offender, listen to this, having been convicted of sexual misconduct with a minor in 2016. That's right, he's a repeat offender. He is a repeat offender. 10 years later. 10 years later. Sound familiar? Allegedly, we have one of these in the Delphi community. Repeat offender. Jason P. reached out through the internet to inflict devastating abuse on an innocent girl living hundreds of miles away, said U.S. Attorney Mildred. He compounded this heinous crime by threatening to distribute the products of that abuse to blackmail the minor victim into providing access to her friends. Sound familiar? As a final twist, he ignored the minor victim's compliance with that blackmail and distributed the abusive materials to another minor anyway. He did all of this despite having already once been convicted and punished for a sexual offense. Thankfully, the excellent work of our law enforcement and prosecutorial teams resulted in a long prison sentence and lifetime of court-ordered supervision that will stop this repeat sex offender from preying on our children for the rest of his life, hopefully. I would like to thank each and every one of them for their efforts. Every image and video of child sexual abuse material represents a real child who has been harmed and demands a decisive law enforcement response, said FBI Indianapolis Special Agent in Charge Timothy O'Malley. This 300-month sentence reflects the seriousness of the harm caused and sends a clear message that those who prey on children and distribute this material will be aggressively pursued and held fully accountable. This case was investigated by, the FBI with assistance from Allen County Sheriff's Violent Crimes Against Children Task Force. This case was prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorney Stacy Spithe. Okay? Moving on, here's another. South Bend man sentenced to 108 months in prison. South Bend, Indiana. Michael Bellina, 22 years old, of South Bend, Indiana. Imagine, 22 years old. Was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Crystal Briscoe after pleading guilty. He took the deal. He took the plea deal to transportation of child pornography. Okay? Bellina was sentenced to 108 months in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. Check this out. According to documents in this case, between August 2023 and March 2024, Bellina transported more than 600 images of child sexual abuse material that he received through the internet. He uploaded the images and distributed them on multiple internet platforms. This case was investigated by Homeland Security Investigations, okay, with special assistance from ISP, ICAC, Mishawaka Police Department, Bloomington Police Department, Indiana University Police Department, Raleigh, North Carolina Police Department, Boone County, North Carolina Police Department, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Indiana. Case prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorney Hannah T. Jones. Okay, and they keep coming. Here's one. Morocco man sentenced to 144 months in prison. Seth Alonso, 20 years old, 20 years old, of Morocco, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Gretchen Lund after pleading guilty to distributing child pornography. Okay, Alonso was sentenced to 144 months in prison, 5 years of supervised release, and ordered to pay $13,000 in restitution to the victims of his crimes, according to documents in this case on April 16th, 2023. And on other dates, Alonso distributed CSAM through social media. A subsequent search warrant of Alonso's home and electronics revealed that there were approximately 114 images and listen, 90 videos. That's right, 90 videos of CSAM in his possession at the time. Again, investigated by Homeland Security and ISP, prosecuted by U.S. attorneys McGrath and Wardrip. Here we go is another one. Miami County man sentenced to 72 months in prison. South Bend, Cody Shanks, 29 years old, of Bunker Hill, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Damon Lychee after pleading guilty to receipt of child pornography, announced U.S. Attorney Clifford Johnson. Shanks was sentenced to 72 months, followed by 5 years of supervised release, according to documents in this case. Between November 2022 and March 2023, Shanks, an elementary school teacher, remember, judges, cops, and all of the above, an elementary school teacher received this CSAM via the internet, investigated by Homeland Security Investigations with assistance from ISP, Miami County Sheriff's Department, and Howard County Sheriff's Department, prosecuted by attorneys Masijic and Hannah T. Jones. And another. Listen to this one. Granger man sentenced to 121 months in prison. South Bend, Timothy Wiley, 60 years old, of Granger, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Crystal Briscoe after pleading guilty to possessing child pornography, announced U.S. Attorney Clifford Johnson. Willie was sentenced to 121 months in prison, followed by 15 years of supervised release. Listen to this. According to documents in this case, in April 2023, Willie was released from prison. Now listen to this. After serving 2 terms totaling nearly 20 years for state child molestation and federal distribution of child pornography convictions. Within 2 months of his release, while under federal supervised release and state parole, he began uploading numerous files of CSAM to various social media platforms, and also downloaded hundreds of images of child sexual abuse material from the internet. Again, this case was investigated by the FBI and prosecuted by U.S. attorneys Hannah T. Jones and Joseph P. Falvey. Okay? Another repeat offender. And another one. Listen to this one. It's going to sound familiar. Michigan City. That's right. Michigan City. Sound familiar? Michigan City man sentenced to 292 months in prison. Opida Barnett, 31 years old, of Michigan City, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Damon Lychee after pleading guilty. He took the deal to 2 counts of production of child pornography, pornography. Production in Michigan City. This is production of CSAM in Michigan City. Okay. Barnett was sentenced to 292 months as a result of this plea deal, followed by 10 years of supervised release, as well as 6,000 in restitution. According to documents in this case, in July of 2021 and January of 2022, Barnett persuaded two separate minors he met online to send him images of child sexual abuse material. Barnett also, listen to this, traveled out of state in an attempt to meet with one of these minors. That's right. He persuaded two separate minors to send him CSAM and traveled out of state to attempt to meet one of these minors. This was investigated by U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security investigations with the assistance of ISP, Spokane County, Washington Sheriff's Department, and the Riley County, West Virginia Sheriff's Department. Let's move on. Elkhart man sentenced to 94 months in prison. Jeremy Ish, 39 years old, of Elkhart, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Damon Lychee after pleading guilty, another plea deal, to receipt of child pornography, announced U.S. Attorney Clifford Johnson. Ish was sentenced to 94 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release, ordered to pay $72,500 in restitution, according to documents in this case, during a 4-month period between 2021 and 2022. Ish received child pornography images and videos over the internet. Law enforcement recovered over, listen to this, 1,200 images and 400 videos. 400 videos of child pornography from his electronic devices. This case was investigated by U.S. Department of Homeland Security Investigations, with the assistance of ISP, Elkhart Police Department, and LaGrange Police Department. This was also prosecuted by U.S. Attorney John Masijek. And another Peru, Indiana man sentenced to 348 months in prison. Does this sound familiar? Peru, Indiana, the Dropbox Nexus. Peru, Indiana man sentenced to 348 months. James Rippey, 40 years old, of Peru, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Damon Lychee after pleading guilty, another federal plea deal, to production of child pornography. That's right, production of child pornography in Peru, Indiana. That's right. What do you think the Kleins were doing? Rippey was sentenced to 348 months in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release as a result of this plea deal. According to documents in this case, Rippey took photos and videos of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. Now listen, he produced child pornography, taking photos and videos of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct, additionally possessing other images of child pornography that he downloaded from the internet. Again, this case was investigated by who? Homeland Security Investigations, with the assistance of the Peru Police Department. That's right. Another one. Indiana man sentenced to 211 months in prison. Shane Smith, 35 years old, of Milford, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Robert Miller Jr. on his plea of guilty, another plea deal. A guilty plea of production of child pornography, announced attorney Clifford Johnson. Smith was sentenced to 211 months in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. According to documents in this case, Smith created fake social media accounts. That's catfish accounts, right? Sound familiar? Catfishing, to befriend minors and persuade them to produce pornography to send him. What were the Kleins doing? This investigation revealed that Smith also possessed over 1,700 images and over 950 videos. That's right, almost 1,000 videos of child pornography on his devices. This case was investigated by the FBI and Indiana State Police Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, prosecuted by U.S. Attorney John Masijek. Portage man sentenced to 300 months in prison. Child pornography and attempted solicitation. Listen to this one. Troy Kidwell, 39, of Portage, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Philip Simon upon his plea of guilty. That's another plea deal. Pleading to attempted enticement of a minor, receipt of child pornography, possession of child pornography, and distribution of child pornography, announced U.S. Attorney Clifford Johnson. Kidwell was sentenced to 300 months in prison, 300 months, followed by 15 years of supervised release. He was also ordered to pay $49,000 in restitution. According to documents in this case, Kidwell was apprehended while traveling, listen to this, to the home of a 10-year-old child. 10-year-olds. A 10-year-old child. Text messages on his phone showed that he intended to have sex with the 10-year-old, and officers found a sexual lubricant in his possession. A subsequent investigation revealed that Kidwell possessed hundreds of images and videos of child pornography, including images he received from a child he had been communicating with in Tennessee. That's right, catfishing. Kidwell had also distributed videos of child pornography to an undercover officer in Florida while trying to arrange to pay to have sex with children. What? Is this not child trafficking? Listen, Kidwell also distributed videos of child pornography to an undercover officer in Florida while trying to arrange to pay to have sex with children. This case was investigated by the FBI and Department of Homeland Security investigations with the assistance of the Porter County Sheriff's Office and Okaloosa County, Florida Sheriff's Office. This case was prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorney Molly Kelly and Jill Coster, formerly an Assistant U.S. In the Northern District of Indiana attorney. Now an AUSA in the District of the Virgin Islands. Next, South Bend man sentenced to 120 months in prison. Here's another one. Joshua Campbell, 32 years old, of South Bend, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Damon Lychee after pleading guilty. Another federal plea deal. Are you noticing a pattern here? Are you sensing a pattern? Plea deal. Pleading guilty to possession of child pornography. Campbell was sentenced to 120 months in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release, according to documents in the case. In April 2019, Campbell was on parole for child molesting. Okay, another repeat offender, please. In April 2019, he was on parole for child molesting when he downloaded images and videos of child pornography. Some of the images or videos were of minors under the age of 12. Campbell's sentence reflects consideration of his prior child molesting conviction. So here we go with a convicted child molester who then becomes a repeat offender. This case was investigated by the FBI with the assistance of the Indiana State Police and prosecuted by U.S. Attorney John Masijek. Let's move on. Registered sex offender sentenced to 50 years in prison for producing and using Facebook to distribute child pornography. Now, this one's rich. Okay, this one is really lengthy and really rich. An Indiana man was sentenced today to 50 years in prison, followed by 15 years of supervised release for using social media to produce child pornography. Lorenzo Johnson, 33, of Hammond, was convicted on August 16th by a federal jury of 3 counts of conspiring to produce child pornography, 1 count of distribution of child pornography, and 1 count of being a felon. That's right, felon in possession of a firearm. According to court documents and evidence presented at trial, Johnson used Facebook accounts in the names of others. That's right, catfishing, another catfisher, to identify women with access to children who appeared to be experiencing financial difficulties. So this is called, he's targeting the mothers who are destitute, okay, and who have children or access to children. Johnson, a registered sex offender, offered these women money to take sexually explicit photos of infants and prepubescent children whom they knew. Again, Johnson, a previously registered sex offender, offered these destitute women money to take sexually explicit photos of infants, and prepubescent children whom these women knew, and successfully persuaded 3 such women who were subsequently charged with child pornography offenses to send him photos depicting the sexual abuse of infants and prepubescent children. 1 such woman subsequently pled guilty and is awaiting sentencing. A second is scheduled to plead guilty on December 21st, both in the Northern District of Illinois, and charges against a third woman were dismissed in the Northern District of Indiana because she died during the course of the prosecution. In an interview with FBI, Johnson admitted that he had also solicited the production of child sexual abuse material from other Facebook users as a means of blackmail. Evidence presented at trial showed Johnson asked one woman to produce CSAM so he could, quote, hold something over her head. In addition, Facebook records admitted into evidence showed Johnson discussing the sexual abuse of children with his co-conspirators and threatening to expose them if they did not agree to produce CSAM. Does this sound like an industry here? Does this sound like a network here? Johnson had been previously convicted in 2009 in the state of Illinois of aggravated sexual abuse involving a minor. That's right, a prior conviction for child molestation. As the jury unanimously found, Lorenzo Johnson repeatedly persuaded vulnerable women to sexually exploit infants and young prepubescent children. Today's sentence sends a strong message that offenders who target vulnerable members of society, and especially children, will be brought to justice. Lorenzo Johnson's criminal conduct merits the lengthy sentence that the judge imposed today, said U.S. Attorney Clifford D. Johnson for the Northern District of Indiana. Manipulating vulnerable women into producing pornographic images of voiceless children is despicable criminal behavior. I want to thank all our law enforcement partners for their hard work in rendering justice in this case. This sentence demonstrates the FBI's commitment to identifying sexual predators and investigating these types of cases with a sense of urgency to ensure those who victimize our most vulnerable members of society pay the price with time in prison, said Acting Special Agent in Charge Gregory Nelson of the FBI's Indianapolis field office. As a result of the tireless work of the FBI and our law enforcement partners, Johnson no longer poses a threat to the community. This case was investigated, listen to this, by the FBI's Indianapolis field office, the Cook County Sheriff's Office, and the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Trial attorney Eduardo Palomo of the Criminal Division's Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section and U.S. Attorneys Molly Kelly and Abzir Zanzi of the U.S. Attorney's Office for Northern District of Indiana prosecuted the case with valuable assistance provided by former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District, Jill Coster. 50 years. Here's another one. Convicted child molester and pedophile sentenced to 15 years of imprisonment for transporting obscene materials. Michael Christensen, 52 years old, of where? LaPorte, Indiana, Michigan City, Peru, LaPorte. Is this starting to ring a bell here? Is this starting to make sense? Michael Christensen of LaPorte, Indiana, was sentenced before the U.S. District Court Judge Philip Simon upon his plea of guilty to 3 counts. If the plea deal means 3 counts, how many are there really? So he took the plea deal for 3 counts of transporting obscene materials. Okay. Christensen was sentenced to 180 months. That's 15 years, followed by 2 years of supervised release. According to documents in this case, between on or about June 22nd, 2019, that's right, and July 2nd, 2019, Christensen used a computer to submit 3 books. That's right, 3 books that contained obscene content to a publisher in North Carolina. Hello. North Carolina. Specifically, the books Christensen had authored contained photos of children's genitals and children engaged in sexual activity. Christensen authored the books while being a registered sex offender. He was previously convicted of child molestation in LaPorte County, Indiana, in 2003 for sexually abusing a 12-year-old boy. In his pro se filings with this court, listen to this. The defendant proclaimed himself to be a, quote, virtuous pedosexual. Do you guys remember during COVID there was this attempt in the political sphere to validate pedophilia with claims of virtuous pedosexual philosophy and that sort of thing, and that a lot of the most far left activists around the world were pushing this. So this previously convicted child molester of a 12-year-old boy got out and thought that he could produce propaganda promoting the victimization of children. And he was so bold with it that not only did he submit these books to a publisher in North Carolina in the hopes that that publisher would produce that material, but he also, in his pro se filings, proclaimed himself a virtuous pedosexual. And here we go with another bombshell. Kokomo Man. That's right. That's right. So what have we hit so far? We hit Michigan City, right? We hit LaPorte, right? We hit Peru, right? And we're hitting Kokomo. Check this out. Kokomo Man sentenced to 35 years in prison for sextortion scheme. Bradley M. Cox, 30 years old, of Kokomo, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Holly A. Brady on April 21st, 2021, after his December 2020 conviction on all counts of a 6-count superseding indictment, charging him with extortion, production, and attempted production of child pornography and receipt of child pornography. Okay, this is in Kokomo. Production of child pornography in Kokomo, Indiana. Cox was sentenced to 420 months in prison, followed by 20 years of supervised release. Cox was ordered to pay restitution to one of his victims in the amount of $3,000. According to evidence presented at trial, Cox obtained a nude photographs of a woman while pretending to be a modeling recruiter. Sound familiar? Hello. Oh my God. Does it sound familiar? Pretending to be a modeling recruiter? Come on, Delphi people, put your thinking caps on and take notes. Cox used a social media account in the woman's name to communicate with a Rochester, Indiana man. Cox exchanged the photos of the woman with the Rochester man. Eventually, Cox threatened to publicly release the nude pictures of the Rochester man unless the man gave Cox the login to his social media account. Cox was given access to the Rochester man's account. Once inside the account, Cox found thousands of nude pictures of women and girls. Cox hacked, hello, into another social media account, this time of a high school boy. Cox then sent multiple females the nude pictures of themselves he had found in the Rochester man's social media account and threatened to publicize their nude photos online unless they sent more sexually explicit pictures and videos. This is sextortion. At least two of these were high school girls at the time. When the victims refused Cox's demands, Cox posted their nude pictures to a pornographic website. Using the hacked social media account, Cox demanded sexually explicit pictures and videos from a pregnant 15-year-old girl, bragging to others online that he had this girl, quote, on the payroll, close quotation, which was a reference to her sending him nude pictures and videos. Cox divulged his scheme to at least one other woman who he met online and eventually met in person. Other evidence in this case showed that Cox also attempted to recruit others. Hello, modeling, recruitment, sextortion, Kokomo. He attempted to recruit others, including at least one high school student, to help him with his scheme. Does this sound like an industry? Does this sound like a network? According to the evidence presented at trial, the FBI's forensic analysis of Cox's work computer, the social media accounts, and Cox's cellular telephone identified Cox as the person using the relevant social media accounts, despite Cox's use of sophisticated concealment efforts. That's right, it's oh shit for the troll farm. This is what I'm saying. It's oh shit for you guys. Okay? You can use these sophisticated concealment efforts and you will still be brought to justice. Cox admitted much of this conduct during later interviews with the FBI. Mr. Cox thought he could hide behind the anonymous internet accounts to terrorize his young teenage victims, causing them untold mental anguish. But this sentence is a clear message to those who engage in sextortion. They will be held accountable for their heinous actions, said FBI Indy Special Agent in Charge Paul Keenan. The FBI and our partners are dedicated to rooting out these perpetrators and ensuring they can never impose such terror on their victims and their families ever again. Okay? Listen to this. It gets deeper. Okay, remember, this is Kokomo, right? Now listen. This case was investigated by FBI with the assistance from Fulton County Sheriff's Department, the Rochester, Indiana Police Department, and drumroll, the Peru, Indiana Police Department. That's right. Are you guys starting to pick up what I'm putting down here? Here we go. Former Marion High School guidance counselor. Okay, look at the title, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this title. Please take a moment, suck it in. Remember, we already heard from an elementary school teacher. Former Marion High School guidance counselor indicted for producing child pornography. Ryan Christian Vermillion, age 46, of Marion, Indiana, was charged with production of child pornography by way of a single count grand jury indictment, announced acting U.S. Attorney Gary T. Bell. According to the documents in this case, from on or about January 26, 2020 through February 18, 2020, Mr. Vermillion allegedly enticed the minor to send him sexually explicit photos. Also alleged is that the victim met the defendant through cross platform social media sites, engaging in chat and photo sharing while believing the defendant was a teenage boy. The U.S. Attorney's Office emphasizes that an indictment is merely an allegation, that all persons are presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in court. If convicted, any specific sentence will be imposed to be imposed will be determined by the judge after consideration of federal statutes and federal sentencing guidelines. Listen to this one. This case is a result of an investigation by the FBI with the assistance of ISP and Wells County Sheriff's Department. This case is being prosecuted by U.S. Attorney Ledsey J. Miller Lowry. Parents are strongly encouraged to speak with their children about similar conversations and contact the FBI if anything similar is found on their devices. Let's continue. Fort Wayne man. Look at this. January 15th, 2026. Okay. Pay attention. That's 2 weeks ago, y'all. 2 weeks ago, Fort Wayne man sentenced to 180 months in prison. Let's listen. On January 15th, 2026, Kevin James Miller, 54 years old, of Fort Wayne, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Chief Judge Holly A. Brady after pleading guilty. That's another plea deal to possession of child pornography. Miller was sentenced to 180 months in prison, followed by a lifetime of supervised release. Restitution is left open, but to be determined within 90 days from the sentencing. According to documents in this case, law enforcement officers discovered that Miller was downloading child sexual abuse material from the internet. During the execution of a search warrant at Miller's residence, agents discovered evidence on digital devices showing that Miller was purchasing and downloading CSAM. Over 1,500 images and 7 videos of CSAM were recovered from Miller. The materials, get ready, trigger warning here. Trigger warning. The materials included images of toddlers, of 1,500 images, including toddlers and prepubescent minors engaged in sexual acts and nudity. Listen to this. Another repeat offender, because Miller was a registered sex offender and previously had been convicted twice of possession of child pornography and exploitation. Okay. A triple offender here. Triple offender. This case was investigated by the FBI with assistance from Allen County Sheriff's Violent Crimes Against Children Task Force. It was prosecuted by U.S. Attorney Stacey R. Spithe. Okay, again, this is just 2 weeks ago in Fort Wayne. Here's another one. Claypool man sentenced to over 24 years in prison for receipt of child pornography. Kenneth Hyatt, age 53, of Claypool, Indiana, was sentenced today by U.S. District Court Judge Damon Lyshey upon his guilty plea, another plea deal, of receipt of child pornography, announced acting U.S. Attorney Bell. Mr. Hyatt was sentenced to 293 months in prison, followed by 10 years of supervised release in order to pay $14,930 in restitution. According to documents filed in this case, Hyatt uploaded 65 images of child pornography to his drumroll Dropbox account. 65 images uploaded to his Dropbox account. These images, along with others, depicted children under the age of 12 participating in bondage or sadistic conduct in his Dropbox. In addition, Hyatt possessed at least 143 total images of child pornography. Matter of fact, you're looking at another fucking repeat offender because 6 months before committing this offense, was just released from prison for a state conviction of possession of CSAM. That's right. Are you getting this story? Okay, this story. He uploads 65 images of CSAM to his Dropbox, depicting children under the age of 12 in bondage and sadistic conduct. He possessed at least 143 total images and just 6 months prior had been released from prison for a conviction on the state level of possession of CSAM. This is a repeat offender taking the plea deal. South Bend, Claypool. This case was investigated by Department of Homeland Security Investigations and ISP and prosecuted again by U.S. Attorney Masijek. Okay? You guys smelling this? Now, I saved this for last. I saved this for last for you guys because this is how we're going to end it, okay? Once again, check it out. Michigan City, okay? Michigan City. Has that come up several times? Let's see. Kokomo, Peru, right? Peru, Kokomo, right? Allen County, right? LaPorte, right? Michigan City. Listen to this one. September 24, 2025. Neil Lockman, 46 years old, of Michigan City, Indiana, was sentenced by U.S. District Court Judge Damon Lychee after pleading guilty. He took the deal. He took the deal, y'all. Neil Lockman took the deal, pleading guilty to sexual exploitation of children, production of child pornography, and production and transportation of obscene material for sale or distribution. Lockman was sentenced to 54 years in prison, followed by a life on supervised release. A restitution hearing will be held on a later date to determine the amount of restitution owed to the victims of the offenses. According to documents in this case, Lockman produced images and videos of CSAM. His crimes were committed over a 10 fucking year period, during part of which he was employed as a law enforcement officer. That's right, a cop. Now remember, we talked about a guidance counselor, we talked about an elementary school teacher, right? When Noe was on, we talked about relatives of a judge, relatives of a senator or representative. And here we have a cop over a 10-year period in Michigan City producing and distributing for sale. He distributed these images and videos to other people using the internet. Forensic analysis of his devices revealed that he possessed, listen to this, tens of thousands, tens of thousands of additional images and videos. Neil Lockman once swore an oath to protect the vulnerable in his community, said acting U.S. Attorney Proctor. By repeatedly preying on those least able to protect themselves, he betrayed the principles to which he swore the most vile and the oaths to which he swore in the most vile and loathsome manner imaginable. While this sentence cannot undo the harm caused to Lockman's victims, it puts an end to his depredations. It also serves to warn any other would-be sexual predators out there that should they decide to commit their crimes in northern Indiana, they will be hunted down and brought to a swift and severe justice by the exceptional team of law enforcement professionals who operate in this district every day. The sexual exploitation of children is among the most reprehensible crimes we investigate. This defendant, Neil Lockman, once swore to uphold the law, but instead he chose to exploit children, the most vulnerable among us. This sentence reflects the serious harm inflicted on the victims and sends a clear message that those who engage in such horrific crimes will be held accountable. The FBI and our law enforcement partners will continue to diligently identify and investigate those individuals and pursue justice for survivors. Homeland Security Investigations is unwavering in its mission to protect children from those who seek to exploit and harm them, regardless of the predator's position or profession. The fact that this individual was a former law enforcement officer entrusted to uphold the law makes these crimes even more appalling. This case underscores the importance of our partnerships with state and local agencies to ensure that no one is above the law. Hello. And that those who prey on the most vulnerable members of our society are brought to justice, said Homeland Security Investigations Chicago Special Agent in Charge, Matthew J. Scarpino. This case was investigated by the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, and the ISP Internet Crimes Against Children Unit. This case was prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorney Hannah T. Jones. And again, this is the plea deal, right? This is the plea deal. If this is the plea deal, what is the truth of the matter? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is alarming. It's an alarming look at the federal actions in the past couple of years, just in Indiana alone. That was at least 15 or more that we just blazed through. Okay. Now imagine, as I was taking a look at this, I only chose about a third of what I found just in the past couple of years. This doesn't include anything on the state level, anything on the local level. These were all FBI and Homeland Security investigations. Okay, FBI and Homeland Security in Indiana. Just the tip of the iceberg. And did you notice the common thread throughout most of those, which is the networking? Okay, the networking, multiple individuals, buyers, sellers, producers, trusted members of society, right? Guidance counselors, teachers, 20-year-olds, police officer, Michigan City, LaPorte, Kokomo, Peru, Allen County. There is no difference between what you just heard and what Keegan Klein was doing. Now the question is, where's the rest? Because I want to bring this back. Remember this, how we started off. Remember the very first slide I showed you tonight. Let me pull it back up. Oh lordy, where is it? Let's see. Daddy got to do some work. Hold on. I already put it down. Okay. Boom, there it is. The very first slide I showed you tonight was this one. from Keegan Klein's interview. Bud, from your Dropbox account off your phone, Keegan Klein, we have started one of the largest child pornography investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. Now, as I said in the introduction, why does it appear that the authorities in this state are covering up that Dropbox? We absolutely know that Keegan Klein lured Libby out to the trails that day. Keegan Klein himself says that him and two or three others took Libby and Abby, did bad things to them, photographed them, and killed them. So, why did our prosecutor, who had offered Keegan Klein immunity, suddenly pivot, ignore that, ignore all the confessions of Keegan Klein and Ron Logan, all the information they were handed, and suddenly attempt to make this a lone wolf killing committed by Richard Allen? With the flimsiest of, of cases you've ever seen. I mean, one of the most flimsy cases you've ever seen in your life played out in front of our very eyes. Even though the judge tried to hide it, and even though now it's still being hidden. Remember, there's a lot that is sealed. We still don't even have the Bridge Guy video exhibits because even that has been declared as confidential. So, what's really going on? I mean, we even had one in Delphi. You guys remember this one? Let me take a moment to get it for you. Let's get this. You guys remember Daniel Norfleet? Daniel Norfleet. On December 28, 2022, the Indiana State Police Detective Rachel Dykstra began an investigation after receiving a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Microsoft reported that a user of their services utilized Microsoft Bing Image to upload child pornography. Microsoft reported the incident occurred on 11/21/22 and that the incident type was child pornography, possession, manufacture, distribution. Okay. This is Daniel Norfleet, Delphi, Indiana, in Carroll Circuit Court. Let me see if I can get you the other pages of this real quick, just for a refresher. Sorry. I mean, I'm sure you remember this. On April 11th, 2023, a search warrant was executed on Norfleet's residence. Okay. Norfleet made a bunch of excuses. Okay. But look at the result. Okay. He made all these excuses like they are known to do, right? It wasn't me. It wasn't my shit. There's a lot of people have access to my shit. But what we ended up having is this right here, which was that on the desktop computer of Mr. Norfleet, there were over 1,200 notable image files of CSAM and child erotica. There were two images specifically that showed various female children approximately 7 to 9 years old. This is in Delphi. There were three additional photos of nude female children, approximately 4 to 6 years old, fully nude in different sexual situations. Finally, there's a photo of a female child approximately 12 to 14 years of age, fully nude. The search history in his device is comparable to that of the laptop, with several searches for child pornography. Additionally, this device was used to access peer-to-peer file sharing network called Ares. There are 18 search keywords documented, which only two different terms were searched. Those were PTHC and bestiality, which means that Mr. Norfleet was specifically searching for preteen hardcore and preteen hardcore bestiality while sitting his ass in Delphi, Indiana. There are also 10 different onion router URLs documented, which is an internet browser used to access the dark web. Okay? This is why I put Tor in here. The Tor is a dark web browser. 1,200 images of CSAM, all the way from 4 years old on up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my show tonight. Delphi, Indiana, a sanctuary for pedophiles? I hope it meant a lot to you. I hope it meant a lot to you. It wasn't easy. I want to thank Noe for coming on, giving his perspective on his whistleblowing in the first half. Really appreciate it. And I want to thank you for bearing through my audio difficulties and the reading of these dozens of federal cases here, the majority of which were plea deals. Anyhow, I truly appreciate that. I would like to ask you at this time to please hit the like, leave comments down below, and help us reach our goal here. We're trying to get at least 10 super chats or donations during the stream. We also have our support pathways like Cash App and the GoFundMe and all the other places where you can contribute to the channel, as well as our link tree, which you can find all my contact information if you need to send me an email or go visit any of my other outlets like Substack, the GoFundMe, or the Cash App, or anything like that. So please do support the channel. I want to send a special shout out to the supporters tonight in particular. Okay, Mr. David Rogers, right? Miss Rebecca Ann, Critter Mama, my beautiful main mod, Deb731, who says, "You need more chocolate after this crazy Yeah, I did get more chocolate. That's what do you think I took the break for before the second half? I had such a bad attitude. I had to go and give me a few bites of chocolate just to hit the reset button. But also Swade Smith. Thank you, Swade Smith. Thank you, David Rogers again. Silence Woman for the super chat. Dennis McKean. I truly appreciate your super chat. We all thank you for what you do, Prof. Please don't forget it. Thanks for the words of encouragement when I'm struggling with emotions. Um, Listen, it's not this easy to do any of this. It's not easy to prepare for the shows. It's not easy to exist in this community. And it's not easy to sit here and do it just on a pure technology basis. So please bear with me. It's a hard job, right? It's a hard job. Somebody's got to do it. And thanks everyone in the chat for making it possible, because your encouragement in the chats and your activity and your banter and your contributions to the chat, it makes it easy for me. If it wasn't for the chat running, I wouldn't be doing this because I can't bear to sit here and do it. But we're 3.5 hours in. It was a very long show. There was a lot that we covered, and I want to thank you all for sitting through it all. And like I said, if you're on the replay and a new viewer, welcome again. We're trying to do the best we can. So please leave your comments down below. We appreciate it. Like, share, do all those nice things. Uh, this is difficult. And I'm wore out for today, I must admit. And hey, if uh, if we get the type of support that we need, I'll be buying a new amplifier for the microphone. So hopefully that'll cut out any audio issues that appear. Who knows? It may not even be my audio. Okay, it could be StreamYard or YouTube. I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying my best here. All right. So thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to shout out to everybody on the way out of here, and then we'll be out. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Okay. So, yeah, who's her daddy? My main man, who's her daddy in here? Sheridan Tibbetts, Deb, Christina, Anarch 00141, Critter Mama, uh, Swade Smith, Heavy Metal Rehab, Trial Junkie, Stephanie, Pam Sheehan, Lisa, Ninja Warrior Assassin, Quad Axel, Silence Woman, um, Goose's Gammy. Shoot, who have I missed? Anyone else? Please just drop on down into the chat. Let me know you were here. I know Diana was here earlier. Carla Ann was here. Shoot, there was a bunch of people here earlier. I think we ran them off with the length of the show. So thanks to everyone who was here. Appreciate your support. This is important work, so we'll be doing that. Well, Criminal Network was here. In Light in the Dark was here. Adrian. Um, there were a lot of people here earlier, so thank you if you were here earlier. Appreciate it. And most importantly, I want to thank Erica Morse over at Victims News on Air for helping me with looking at some of these cases tonight. Truly appreciate Erica's help. And I know she's working a lot of important things as well. So do me a favor, go subscribe to her channel as well. And at Noe's channel, please. So I don't know if Deb and some of the mods can drop their channels, but I'd like to put Noe's channel and Erica's channel down in the chat and Christina's channel so that any new viewers can click on the chat and go find these channels that I am recommending, okay? Because I want to get Noe, I want to get him more subscribers. I want to get Christina and Erica Morse and anyone else who's been in this chat. You know who you are. Um, drop your links down below, and we'll let our viewers go subscribe to our network of friends. So that's where we are. Anyway, God bless everyone. It's amazing Friday night. I'm absolutely exhausted. Thank you very much, okay? And thanks for putting the links to our friends' channels down in the chat. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you next time. We will see you next time. And who knows? I may do an entire do-over of the second half of this. We'll see what we drum up. But appreciate it all. And can't wait to see you again, okay? It'll be soon. And I'm going to get some rest. So have a great weekend. God bless Libby and Abby. God bless all of you. Okay? Truly appreciate you for being here. With that being said, we out.